It juts out of the water like an open, upright stone book. The prison was once just a squat tower upon a crag. Now the old tower has a twin in the bay, the pair joined by one fat stone slab, and hitched to the city's ridge by another. The joint shelters a lonely dock for prisoner transfers. 1,120 prison cells. Four groups of four stories, recessing inward, with firm buttresses, minuscule windows. Prisoners and visitors enter from beneath, 16 stories above. Spectators from the high market can watch the gallows. The free leave from the bottom. The damned leave from the top. Welcome to Bloodwine. Alright, so note to self. Never again in the intro use firm buttresses.
I had a hard time.
I barely made it to the end. It came out of my mouth and I was like... Because when I prep these, I do like write a few sentences and then I say it out loud and I erase one and rephrase it. I say it, you know. I guess like it didn't click the first few times I wrote it and said it, and then I was like, okay, this is fine. And then I was like, firm buttresses, live on camera, and I'm like...
It's probably because when you're reading aloud, you're like, all right, firm buttress, yeah. And you're like, didn't pronounce it the way that you pronounced it when you were saying it. Because when you said it live, you were like, firm buttress.
Firm buttresses.
Buttresses. Yeah, it's not nearly as great to say as it is to think.
Not quite. Anyways, welcome back. Welcome back to Firm Butt Town.
Population Gabe, am I right, fellas?
Did we not miss a week? Are we actually
we did
again?
We did miss a week.
We missed a week.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, for once it wasn't Gabe or Chelsea.
To be fair, you moved to a province and then had an issue in a province and then moved to another province. Like,
yeah, that one was. Yeah, that was kind of a rough.
If anything, I would describe our upload schedule during that time as remarkably consistent, considering.
Yeah, no, sort of every factor at once was sort of pointing against Bloodwine. So,
it works.
You know,
it happens.
Okay, we got through it. We got through it as a team.
Yeah,
you know.
With everyone taking time off sequentially.
Yes, you know, we all decided that it was best for us to all sort of not speak to each other.
Well, there was that one time where there was like 3 weeks, and each week it was one of you that had to cancel for some reason. And like the 4th week, everybody was like, Chelsea.
Chelsea,
the only one that
Chelsea, please.
Canceled.
Chelsea.
Come on.
I remember being frustrated because I think like the last of those was me, maybe, and like I was specifically like, I just gotta get through the week to get to game. I just gotta get through the week to get to game, and then like I drank too much and had a little breakdown, and it was just like, okay, no, we're
just gonna not.
I'm not gonna like angrily resist the urge to drink and try not to dissociate the entire way through a stream, you know?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it was like 2 hours before that I was sitting there being like, I can make it. It's like 2 hours. It's just like, no.
Well, and I mean, the thing is, for you, when someone cancels, it's frustrating because you spend time preparing and drawing and all like that. I prepare for Bloodwine by making my bed if it's in a shot and I feel like it. So
and
like,
now Discord has 4.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what do you guys remember from the last time we were here?
We were hunting down Rooker Dude.
Well, we had him in our sights.
There was some shit that went down at Redwine Keep.
Yeah, Redwine Keep was not having a great time.
There was a riot, and
Mhm.
basically every Marine ship was brought in to
Yep.
arrest people and sink their
Yep.
ships so they can't travel anywhere else.
Yep.
I believe when you guys came in there was like a flagship being like, "Hey, I'm a guard ship. I can lead you to dock, and then we'll search you." And then you were like, "No thanks," and then just like kept going. So it's the evening after the dinner hour, and you are just past Redwine Keep.
Yes.
So,
Everything's on fire, right?
uh, not everything is on fire. There's a specific set of things that are on fire. The city is fine. There's some debris and some dust and some bloodstains, but like the streets are empty because of a curfew. There's way more guards than normal. There's a bunch of Navy ships that came in, and what they were doing is towing ships into the bay and then burning them in the bay. So outside of the city, but like it's a port town, so like the whole city faces these ships on fire. There's just like a in the middle.
I hope
It's
the
still
Marinara
active.
Garden is okay. It'd be a shame if that place got destroyed. That place was nice.
Yeah.
You look over at the fire. You're like, does that mean my breadsticks are limited?
I wanted more soup and salad, but I might be restricted on that.
I might have to actually be restricted on how many breadsticks I eat.
Now that's getting nostalgia in me. It makes me want to go eat at one of those restaurants, but I know that's just gonna ruin every memory I have. I'm gonna go there and be like, oh, this is okay.
The best part is I have no memories. I never really went there as a kid. I have no
So-
memories.
Well, I've never been to an Olive Garden, but we don't have Olive Garden.
No.
No, but
We
there
have
are.
East Side Mario's,
That's
Yeah,
what I
I
was
think
gonna say.
that's
We
the
have
closest
that,
one,
and
and, like-
I
and
remember
that's just Olive Garden.
And that's
I
just-
went there
that's kinda
once.
slow. It's
I went-
good. Hey, it's good. We love that. We love that shit here.
Let's go to East Side Mario's.
Hey,
I
bada boom,
will
bada bing.
say, I grew up in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, or lived there for a couple of years, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and there was a Chinese place that we used to go to, and it was really great. It was an all-you-could-eat buffet, and then for some reason, through happenstance, we were back in Moose Jaw and had a day to kill, me and my mom, and so I said, hey, let's go to that Chinese place, and went there. Turns out, my little kid brain didn't remember this. The place was carpeted. Like, the whole place was carpeted.
I bet that hadn't aged well.
No.
Yeah.
It was the food very good.
That
Um,
hurts right in my health and safety.
It's
Yeah.
like the whole like food very good, staff excellent. The whole vibe was like it was like somebody's living room with sort of the decor and the beige walls and then like a carpet.
Mhm.
So gross.
Shag
it was
carpet.
It wasn't a shag carpet, but
See,
you
the
know, it
thing
might as
is,
well have been.
if you were to say, "Oh, this restaurant feels like being invited into someone's home," that sounds like a 5-star review to me. Until you say, "And then being told to sit on the couch in their living room and
Yes.
being given a plate,"
Yes.
and you're like, "Oh,
Oh.
which is weird because
Feels
that's how I
family
eat
reunion.
like every meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called a coffee table. You lean forward and put it down. You know."
No, see, I eat every meal at the kitchen table with my parents, and they ask me why I don't have a job yet.
Okay.
Uh,
Same. So I don't live with my parents.
yeah. Well, you also have job, which
That's
does
true.
does sort of make that easier in a lot of
So-
ways.
Apparently, the news is calling the phenomenon the Great Resignation, and they're being like, these millennials and Gen Zs they're all no longer taking these jobs, when in reality it's just like everybody who was applying for those jobs has had one of those jobs before. Now everybody who's applying for those jobs has an advanced degree that they're not getting a job for.
Yeah.
And just because, like, not a lot of jobs, not a lot of people can just move cities.
Well, and also people
like,
don't want me because I have a degree. If I go to a Best Buy and say, "Hey, I'd like to sell computers," they say, "But you like get a better job and leave us."
We need someone that we can pigeonhole into this specific store.
Yeah.
And will never leave us.
Yeah.
And like, the frustrating thing is it comes down to math. Like, I feel like all the people going the Great Resignation, blah, 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 like, they're journalists. Bless their hearts. But the only math you need to get into journalism is high school math, and I think that it doesn't occur to most people that aren't, like, a special interest journalist with another set of experiences that they bring in. Because, plenty of people who do journalism have, if anything, most people who do journalism have some kind of other experience and skill set they draw on, right?
Yeah.
You would hope.
Scientific journalists, there's like social issue journalists.
There's Ben Shapiro.
There's Ben Shapiro.
Journalists.
God, I lost the beginning of that sentence. But, like, right, that's what it was. I feel like none of them have actually sat there and gone to a given city and scrolled through the listings for like a couple hours, going back a couple months, and then gone to a minimum wage job and done 40 hours, and then the special bonus step of talking to anyone who has had one of those jobs and gone, "Hey, have you gotten a consistent 40-hour week from your job?" That's the fun thing about minimum wage. Your boss can just decide that instead of working a full week, you don't have $400 now. Good luck on rent, buddy.
Yeah.
Or you could resolve that by getting a second job that will directly conflict with your first job, and then both of your bosses will hate you and both try to get you fired.
I'm sorry.
They call us the working class because it works.
Guys, I know that we can't show this and it's gonna derail everything, but I put into NeuroBlender Twitch streamer breast reduction, and what it grabbed from the Twitch streams is that everybody has dyed purple hair, but it put it in like the wrongest spot.
What?
It gave him like a Teletubby furry fuzzy belly.
That looks like plumage.
It is plumage.
I think that's the Twitch purple. And then it took the stream from River?
It's like plumage. It looks like man's breasts almost.
Yes.
Okay, we need to stop talking about this. The people on the stream can't see this.
Oh my god.
We're also talking about... we're talking about medical procedures that people commonly undergo for a wide variety of reasons. So it shouldn't be demonetizable, but there's what shouldn't and what is. We probably shouldn't be like...
Because we
make bombs on this
much
stream and
money
say fuck.
here, right?
We're not monetized.
We're not monetized. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and if we were monetized, it would be like $2.
Can I at least post it in the Discord?
You go for it. Fuck it.
There is a nipple. However,
you can't determine gender. And I argue that if you cannot determine the gender of the nipple, you cannot make the decision that it is a female nipple.
It's also like kind of not. It's
also
debatable.
It's not.
It's because it's not. It's what the computer thinks a nipple is.
It looks to me. It looks to me like someone who's very good at body art drew that on their very big belly.
Yeah. The thing is, not all nipples are the same. Some are smaller, some are bigger, some are longer, some are shallower. Some have a hard time staying up, some are up all the time. Some are like wide little nubs with a little areola. Some people got real bumpy areolas, and I think
real bum
they got real,
them in the industry.
And this is an AI image generator, and I think what it did is it took that wide variety of nipples, amalgamated them together into a nipplant that doesn't exist.
Yeah, this is it confused
Like-
it confused
Like the
nipple and
areola
Bloodwine
bumps are in the middle of the areola, and it just kind of vaguely fades. But like, the nipple is like shaded on the wrong side
Yeah.
compared to everything
Yeah.
else in the image.
I'd like
And there isn't even. The other one just looks like a bit of like barbecue sauce stain.
Yeah, it sort of
Okay, no, we gotta stop.
anatomically
We gotta
is
stop.
We
terrible.
gotta focus.
Okay. Okay. I'm so sorry. That was just too funny to not share.
Well,
I have
Gabe,
no idea
it's your
what the
fault.
fuck-
So what the fuck were we talking about? It's your job.
All right. Well, we are on a boat. The city is kind of in a rough time. It seems like there's a lot of tensions and riots that are happening, and we came almost at the worst time. Unfortunately, the guy that we do want to kill for the crime of inconveniencing us and then pursuing other things with his life is currently in a jail for protesting whatever it is that caused. He was in the riots. He said all cops are bad, and the cops said no. And then he got in the jail. And I think our plan is to say to the cops, say, hey, we will pay you for that man. He's worth more money to us than the money we're giving to you.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win situation. We
How
just have
much
to get...
money are we gonna say that he's worth? Well, how much
Well-
money are we gonna give the thing for him?
As much as it takes, I think the biggest problem is how are we going to get into town without the guards searching our ship and finding all the sugar? Because something tells me Port Pass is not going to cut it.
We smuggle it.
Yeah.
The stakes
I'm
are
not gonna
high,
lie.
friends.
I'm not gonna lie. I planned this entire session forgetting you have sugar in your hole. And that was just the cherry on top. I am ready. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready.
Man, I gotta stop taking over Will's job.
Hey.
I do it too well.
We sold that sugar, or did we sell only some of it?
Oh no, we
We
sold the
went to the
cocaine.
No,
Oh
we
no,
went
you're
to the
right.
bakery.
You're right. I have it all
we
erased
sold
here.
that sugar. Yeah.
Right, you
We
sold
don't
it at
have
the
any
bakery.
sugar. We
We
sold.
sold it at the bakery.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh. Good stuff. So we don't actually have illegal sugar in our holds.
Yeah, there's nothing bad then. We can.
Yeah, we're
Nothing.
actually legitimate. They can fully search us, and they'll just find a bunch of
Yeah.
Cannonier and Son munitions, which is totally valid.
Yeah, run the plates, bud. I dare you.
See, as far as I'm
We don't
concerned,
do
all
any
of you guys still panicked over whether or not you had sugar in your hold, so I still have to eat the cherry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's fair. That's fair. So Jane,
Yeah.
how would you like to be a licensed bounty hunter?
Sure.
Cool. That works.
How do I do that?
Well, with this handy dandy piece of paper, and I whip out a piece of paper and give me like an hour, you'll be licensed bounty hunter.
Cool. Are bounty hunters licensed, or is that just kind of a thing
I
that
assume
people do?
that there might exist some sort of letter of marque that allows people to bounty hunt specifically enemies of a state.
So, because we all love, Will watched a documentary on YouTube 3 months ago and wants to go on a tirade hour. Bounty hunting is old, but bounty hunting licenses are kind of new. And it's also
Okay.
like, there are different traditions. So if you look at like bounty hunting in medieval Europe and bounty hunting in like cowboy times United States, it's like an entire different, it's a different phenomenon at a different time. The way that I'll run it is you might be part of an organization which would like certify you, especially like if you guys were career bounty hunters, you might be like, hey, my name is blah 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 blah, show them something and be like, officially licensed by the state, you get an extra bonus, you get like priority contracts. But you could also be a group of adventurers, because adventurers are an entire industry.
True.
Monsters just happen. They show up in people's sewers. They show up in small towns. The military's there if a fucking kaiju decides to attack Red Wine Keep or to stop riots. Uh, but like, adventurers have a job, you know.
Okay. So I don't actually need to give her like an ID. We can just be bounty hunting adventurers.
However, if you were bounty hunting adventurers, you would need a paper bounty. And you guys have hunted a bounty, I think, once before, actually. Very early on in this campaign.
Did we? Which bounty did we hunt?
'Twas a boat.
'Twas a boat.
Yes. It was a boat.
'Twas.
It was 2 boats.
Yeah, I forgot that we did that.
Is there a
Nostalgia.
guy named Dog the Bounty Hunter, or am I insane?
You're not
Nope.
insane.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
But I do like the idea of Little Bow Wow, the bounty hunter.
Little Bow Wow. Yeah, he's like a.
It has.
So we're gonna
It's
need you to
technically
make
the same thing.
not a license, but a bounty.
Put
A
a
bounty
bounty,
on it.
just a paper bounty.
Okay.
And like a reasonable enough
It can be
reason.
both. It can either be the paper bounty and you guys can be ragtag adventurers, or it can be a license and then they would check their records to see if you were in them.
I don't like that idea.
Here's
Yeah,
here's
probably pay
if
for
it's,
paper bounty.
if it's just a bounty, the guard might say to us, "Hey, maybe we'll just cash in that bounty ourselves." So like, I feel like this bounty should at least be an inconveniently long distance away.
Well, yeah, it'll be in like Riverbend,
Yeah,
where we know that this guy has done something before.
yeah,
So if we set it in Riverbend, where it's like a long distance away, it should be perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And then like, yeah, like
yeah.
if we do all of that, then we should be good to just say like, this is our bounty. It's not, you're not earning enough to make the trip worthwhile. This is Riverbend.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
we have to find the amount of gold that wouldn't be worthwhile for them to cash in themselves. So like 2 gold. How about like a copper?
Well,
I like the idea of this guy being worth like $1.50.
Yeah, well,
I think I think we pay the guard 2 gold, and we say,
Yeah,
"Hey, this
how
guy's
about-
worth like
he's
5
worth-
gold to us."
yeah, I was thinking that too. He's worth 5 gold. We'll give you 2 gold, and then you
Yeah,
can.
like you've done everything already. Like you were the one
Yeah.
that brought him in.
You did the work
know?
for us, so like
You know,
here
do
you go.
50-50.
Here's your share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a nice little bribe for you, bud.
Here's a little
Yeah.
bribe, and this isn't a bribe. This is a partnership.
Yeah.
You get signed on.
Yeah, we're doing
yeah.
a deal here.
Congratulations, you're part of the Benders.
You're part of the Bender. You're part of the Aang gang. Let's go get Firelord Ozai. Am I right?
I never finished watching Avatar.
Man,
Again,
The first season of Avatar is crap, and I argue that I challenge anyone to fight me on that. It does one thing great. It does a whole lot for setting up for future stories.
yes, yeah,
But
I mean, yeah.
The first season is rough.
The first few episodes of the first season are rough. I would say that it just continually gets better and
Yes.
better from the start.
I would say that too, because like you can see that they're building the groundwork, they're building a foundation for a lot of good
Yeah.
shit. But the first few episodes are very tough.
So don't watch them. Like legitimately, I started watching Avatar in like the second book. I don't forget what they were doing, and I just had no idea what was happening at all times.
See, I
But it
can't.
was good.
I can't do that. I'm the type of person that refuses to play any other Assassin's Creed game, despite what everyone tells me about which games are good, because the first one is trash.
And you're like not gonna like finding
You
out
have to
about
play
like
them in order?
cars or
Yes,
medicine.
I need to play
or,
them in order.
Mm.
I need to watch shows in order. I need to play them in order, because if the show isn't good over the entirety of its run,
What about podcasts? Do you have to watch from the beginning?
Podcasts are a bit different. It depends. Are they like sequential podcasts, or are they like, here is just a random thing?
They're numbered, but not like sequential.
Yeah, then that's fine.
See, I find that it depends on whether like I'm with someone or not. I will watch a lot of bad TV to get to the good bits if I'm with someone who like enjoys the show. But if I'm on my own time, I can't even stomach mediocre TV.
Yeah.
I am the pickiest, most like unjustifiably smug like film enjoyer on the fucking planet when I'm alone. To the point where I will spend hours just scrolling through Netflix. It's not good. I gotta unsmug myself. I'm ruining my own enjoyment of movies because there's just nothing to watch anymore because I'm a piece of shit, you know?
And see, I'm not that, because I've literally watched every episode of the Power Rangers. I've watched every fucking episode.
That's different.
Okay,
That's
but
different.
like, would you watch every single episode of Paw Patrol? Would you watch every single episode of The Bubble Guppies? If I sat you down...
If the show could hold my interest, I would watch every single episode starting from the first.
Okay. If I sat you down and said, hey, this is the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We are watching from season 1, episode 1, right through the part where they blow up planet Earth, all the way till they stopped being marketable and they started a new series.
You know, I think that there's an artifact of the
I've
internet.
watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. You can't fight that.
Oh my god. Yeah, this man on another level. Yeah, we gotta...
I couldn't get through the first season of Avatar.
Yeah, this guy likes it when the lights are going boop 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 boop. Yeah, this guy's crazy.
I feel like there's an artifact of the internet where like if you don't have a strong opinion, you don't post something. So like, especially because like people, there's all this stan culture shit and people posting in movie forums and stuff like that. So there's not a lot of representation for people just finding like a movie or TV show fine.
Yeah.
Like, something can be kind of good. It can be like, I would recommend it, but it's not great. It doesn't have to be linear. You can be like, it's not smart or good, but it's great for filling background noise.
Yeah.
We should focus.
I
We have a bounty to hunt.
I was inches away from just going on the biggest tangent right there. And you're right, we should focus. You intercepted me at just the right moment.
Maybe this is a sign that we should like actually hang out during not stream.
Yeah. Oh, no.
It's bleeding through.
This is a sign that we need to have an offline stream where we just we schedule the normal RPG, but then we know that we're probably only going to play for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
See, I'm torn though, because what if this is us developing a dynamic and personality, and this is us becoming watchable and we're fighting it?
Wrong. See, I have a pair of nail clippers in my hand, and staring at this Nero Blender image is really, oh man, it's giving me some bad intrusive thoughts.
Well, I can outgun you.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Anyway, so speaking of guns, sorry.
3 nail clippers, but they're all up in my room. So
You doing this?
Same.
I'm sorry. I feel so bad because I feel like I was aggressively being like, "It's time," and then it was Chelsea talking, and Chelsea has been like actually trying to get us on track, and I was like, I don't want to. I want to let Chelsea say a thing. Chelsea's been good.
let's go. We got a bounty to hunt. Let's go. We got to get this guy.
Okay, so how much is this guy worth?
5 gold.
We're gonna say 5 gold.
Okay.
We're gonna offer 2 gold.
Okay. I'm gonna make this bounty for him from Riverbend, 5 gold. And it's just like artist depiction of him. Like not like everyone knows his name or anything like that. Like he's not like some person, he's like almost like that really shitty meme. Like there's a meme of a news reporter trying to like say like, oh, there's a man at large, and they show an image and it's like little teeny tiny beady eyes and like a terribly drawn triangle face. That is what I'm going for. It's like someone has a vague description of someone at Riverbend who is causing riots, and he's worth 5 gold because he's wanted.
I don't think he's causing riots. I think he's just
what's his crime?
in riots.
He's in riots. He is inciting them, and also wanted for suspicion of robbery. I'm also gonna add that one in there. Is like wanted on suspicion of robbery.
I think that his crime should be unrelated to the riots. Like, I think that his crime should be something like.
Should we just pin him? Should we just pin him with the robbery that we did?
Yeah, that would be good. Could we also like?
You could pin him for all the heists, or you could pin him for the one time that you busted into like someone's rear door when they were on vacation, and then by the time you got back to the town, they were still on vacation and the door was still open a crack.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like.
Yes. Yeah. Robbery. Robbery is what he's wanted for.
I stepped into a gray area, and I think we got to go with robbery. But for a second, I was like, in a world where rats are people, what sort of stereotypical crimes would a rat person commit? And then I was like, that's not a fun thing to discuss. Like
gnawing on furniture without a permit.
Yeah, like trying to
destruction of property, vandalism.
Trying to work out the rules of racism is
like I imagine there's like marks on the Marinara Garden side wall, like their frame of their building, and they see like scuff marks on it, and they're like, "Fucking rat folks are gnawing on the building again."
Yeah, we don't do that though. Like I have my invincible gnawing stick.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. If it's something that wouldn't get you banned off Twitch, but would still probably get people angry with you, people in Redwine Keep might say it. If it would get you banned on Twitch, people in White Abbey would say it.
Nice.
Listen, I think that he cheated with someone's wife, and that's why there's a bounty on him.
Yeah.
Like, look at the guy. He fucks, you know.
Croquill just kind of stops and looks at you, and he just goes, "This guy has never gotten laid in the entirety of his existence, and I'm not giving him that credibility. I'm pinning our robberies on him."
Okay, all right.
So this is something larger. Bounties generally have a wax seal with a little like ribbon that comes off of it,
Specifically to avoid this problem.
Yeah, it would be a big problem if it weren't for the fact that you are literally employed by the Rookery, and just in case you stop at an isolated island, you have a little desk so people can write letters.
I was just gonna say, like, Will, don't even tempt me with this. We have wax. Like,
so I'll put it this way: after the storm at sea, we know what Crocquill's capable of.
Yeah.
So when I say it's going to be twice as hard, I know that's not actually that much dissuading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be twice as hard if you make it from scratch. It'll be easier if someone makes, like, literally that, just, like, a crayon tier, like, you put a smudge of wax on, you, like, scribble, you make a picture of a guy, you write, like, bounty, 5 gold, right?
Like, yeah, so Croquill is gonna ask for, like, Jane to do that, because Croquill hasn't seen this person before. Like, not really.
Yeah.
Because the way that she typically scries is through someone's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever she's been inside of his head, she has no idea what he looks like. And when she was in other people's heads, she has no way to discern which one is Rook or Mariner.
They could probably give a pretty good description of what he looks like. Not like a great one, but like...
Well, it's a bounty poster, so you gotta write it in a blurb. Give a description.
I don't actually remember what he looks like. He's a rat folk.
Yeah,
That's all I remembered of
Rat
him.
folk?
I remember, like... I don't remember what color he is. I don't remember anything like that.
He's very druid.
Neural Blender has given me the most blessed image.
Okay, so he's
God
Druid.
damn
He's
it.
got the magic energy.
Um,
Well,
police
specifically,
sketch of a
like,
rat.
very red aura.
Yeah.
Like,
Reddest
Yeah.
aura you've ever seen on this
like,
dude.
describes his magical aura
No,
to
no, no,
you.
no, no. I
And he's
don't.
just like, yeah, red aura.
Listen, I'm not blind. I don't think that a blind person would use color to describe an aura.
Well,
It'd
I
be like,
mean,
this guy has a real fungal aura. You know, he
Angry
smells.
aura.
He smell, emotion.
it's kind of a synesthesia, really. Like,
Yeah, he's got a
Or it
real
could
bumpy
be-
aura.
and I
It
do
could
know
be-
what colors look like.
That's true.
I had to describe colors to warbles. I know what colors
true.
look like.
That is true.
It's also one of those things where, like, I feel like if you're an adult, skilled mage working on a sailing ship at sea, going on adventures, robbing banks, you probably know when to tell people red, even though you don't know necessarily what red looks like per se, because enough people have told you red, and you know it's easier if you tell people that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
you can use it in a conversation. People say colors all the time. It could just be like, oh, I know a list of things that are allegedly this color.
Blood.
Yeah.
Dane would
Blood.
absolutely know what color he is. I don't know what color he is. We could go back through the pictures.
I
to try
mean,
to find
we
a
never
picture of him.
saw him. I'm the only one that has the chance to have actually seen
No, we saw-
Mariner.
We were on a boat with him.
Yeah, we were on a
for,
boat.
like,
We worked for
significant
him.
amount of time.
Yeah, but wasn't he in his mask the entire time?
Oh no, you're right.
We also
You
saw
got
him
in
outside.
you got in a drunken altercation,
We got in a drunken altercation with him.
and I
Oh,
have
fair
the
enough.
thumbnail from that, and I'm gonna post it in chat so that you don't have to
Okay.
scroll through it. But for the sake of, you know, the chat and the video and all that, I do want you guys to still try and verbally describe this guy, so you could
God
put it
damn
on a
it.
bounty.
I opened the chat and it was Gabe's stupid stream breast reduction.
Yeah.
Just popped up and I'm like, how do I? Oh god, right, that's what that is.
Well, just
Worst
below
thing
that,
is,
I have
right
a-
below that is like police sketch of a rat, and it somehow still has a nipply aura to it. I think we're just gonna stop posting that in chat. We're just gonna stop
Yeah.
posting Neuroblender until.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
he's gray. He's got small ears. He's got braided, like a braided thing on the side of his head.
Yeah, it's got a
Looks
couple
kind
of them. Yeah.
kind of angry, kind of a grumpy look to him.
He a thin boy. He got earmarks.
Thin. He's got some ear marks. Yeah. Looks kind of rough around the edges. You know. Just
Yeah,
a little bit.
if I know he's covered in hair, but I want to describe him as scraggly.
He's scraggly. Scraggly is the
See,
word.
that's the
for
thing,
it.
right? Like, imagine being standard human scraggly, like your bedhead, you haven't shaved, all that,
Hmm.
but it's your whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
I would-
scraggly.
If anything, I would say that, like, he has a unique quality to be remarkably scraggly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, full drunk.
Full scraggle.
Probably smells like cigarettes. I don't know how you would get that smell out of your hair
Yes.
Dear God, yeah.
if you're just covered in hair and constantly smoking. You know?
Like when you sometimes see it in older people, usually when they start to go gray, is like you'll get a bit of staining around the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty good description.
Yeah, I
of
think
him.
that's a pretty solid description. So can you draw that?
Yeah. I can
Ken
draw
and
that.
Ye, do you have artistry skills? Tiana, anyone?
You get Otto
If
to
that's
do
a
it.
performance, if that's a
Auto, auto, generate a person's appearance based on this description.
So here's what happens. The first thing that happens is both Tiana and Rooker hold up their pictures and are immediately disqualified Like that even magic can't fix that. That's a stick person.
I'm with you
After
on Ricker
this,
on that one.
Croakwill, you quietly go like, "Hey Otto, could you print us a picture?" And then you hear,
Otto, are you okay?
you hear a swiveling, and then the sound of like Otto's shielding kind of going clunk clunk along the inside of the munitions door, and he goes, "Got it."
Not all right. I knew you could do it there, little bud.
I take the picture. Does it look like a good? Is it good?
From our perspective, Otto's out of toner. From your perspective, holy shit!
I hand that to Croakwill. Good stuff.
Krogel just grabs it and just starts working, doesn't even acknowledge Otto as, like, any sort of artist or anything like that. It's just, like, refusing to acknowledge that Otto did something good outside of his, like, base programming.
If anything, Otto just like shrugs and mutually is just like, "Don't ask me to do this again. I don't want to print things unless I can shoot a blader, okay?"
Well, if you printed a target, then you could shoot the target.
You know, I like how you think.
Yeah, I'm not. I like how you think too.
Bad vibes. Reward 5.
So, I'm going...
Hey Gabe, odds or evens?
Evens.
Why does he have his tongue out?
Evens.
You thinking?
Ah, I hate it.
You hear the printer noises,
Oh, what?
and then you hear them again,
Uh-huh.
Oh no!
and then you hear them again.
Otto,
It's like 5 minutes. Like,
Otto, you okay in there, bud? Should I knock or?
can you make these into targets when I'm done?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
I love that Otto is basically, like, found out how to print off his favorite Paw Patrol's character and just hit the, like, in the number of copies section, he just put 500 and hit print.
Yeah.
So do you stop him, or do you let him just go through him?
Like,
He's not using my paper, that's for
honestly,
fucking sure.
I turned to Croakle and go, I didn't give him any paper, did you?
I didn't give him any paper.
You retrofitted an old, like, dwarven robot head, right?
Yeah.
So there's elements of, with dwarven tech, like with normal like mechanics and repair stuff, like you build things from the ground up. With dwarven tech, it's not necessarily understood. It's like experimenting with alien technology.
Yeah.
So there's some things that it's just like, if I unplug this whole thing, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, like, you're actually just plugging in a general assembly that includes the CPU, but also like the printer
Yeah.
and like a dead sound chip that's included on Game Boys, kind of thing.
Yeah. So he has a roll of paper in there, I guess. Yeah.
Actually, good question. Is this son finally figuring out what that parchment tube is for?
Yeah, some thought it was an air filter of some kind. But,
So do you stop him, or do you let Otto just go?
well, I believe in bodily autonomy.
I feel like after a while, Croakle really wants Otto to shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, at least he's doing it during. No, it's evening time. Hey, Otto, why don't we save the printing for like the sun when the sun's up, you know?
So you basically you have this many straws left. He prints, and he Prince. Still going?
Otto, would you shut the fuck up? I need to concentrate on this shit.
Hey now, that's no way to talk to a little baby boy.
What is the point of
right?
having a
Otto.
giant fucking turret if it makes so much goddamn noise?
Out
Otto,
of paper. Please refill.
huh. Well, I'll go and I'll gather up all the targets. And I'm admiring them like, oh man, that
Magic,
was
yes,
so
you-
We
round.
gotta get moving. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So round. Hey, Rupter, do you have like a sort of food storage where you can put this one up so everyone can see it?
So you, Rooker, Ken, and Ye are all like gathering around the door. Jane is sitting there, like repeatedly going out over the deck and keeping watch at like the burning bay, and it's just like, guys, can we please? And then all of you open the door. You know how like the auto, like he hinges up to like turret position, then hinges
Yeah.
down to like be there with you as a buddy.
Yeah, my little friend.
The entire workshop has like a printer's roll of every single sequential person that is not on the don't kill list. Like by timestamp until he ran out of paper from now previously. It is all over the workshop. You do not have time to fix this until tomorrow. It's everywhere. He must have been in his idle scan cycle or something because it got on the desk, it got on the stool, it went all over onto Ken and Ye's side. As you quietly close the door, as this is an unfixable problem because you have a bay on fire to worry about, a few little slips of paper peek out from underneath the door.
I'm grabbing one and still gonna go put it up on the fridge. He's a little overzealous, but I think art's good for the soul, you know.
He doesn't have a soul. Krokul shouts as she's like, now would everyone please some quiet? Okay, let's do this.
Sounds good. What do you mean doesn't have a soul? Look at this likeness, and it's almost like ASCII, like security cam footage quality of some random person on a dock minding their business. Like, yeah, that's some creepy shit.
You post it to the fridge.
Okay. I'm gonna boon, and I'm gonna make this now. Gonna shift everything around, tighten up the features a little bit, you know. So yeah, so I'm booned, so it's a max roll, so I think it's a 34?
Should be, yeah.
Yeah. Max out roll, yes.
Gabe, do you want to roll your munitions crafting for auto printing off that picture?
Yeah,
Munitions crafting.
yeah. Very
Well-
technical drawing. Has
Well,
all
Gabe
the-
made Otto, and Otto made the picture, and Otto's a robot.
A
Gabe
munitions-based
made the
robot.
picture.
Yeah.
Look, he correctly installed the printer, and it was only slightly out of tone.
It's a 25.
Okay, 34 plus 25, so 39, 59. You have a 59 bounty.
All right.
I doubt anybody's gonna roll higher than that on a check, so.
Yeah, seal that up, wrap that up nicely, and we'll go from there.
Alright. It's the early night. By now, most people would start to be stumbling home from the tavern. You still have some midnight oil in you. They're still smoldering in the bay, but the guards have stopped even now for the night. They're just doing nightly patrols. Obviously still high guard. It's a night curfew, but they're not actively sending groups of guards to burn things in the bay anymore. The
You'll
smoke
love
is
to
still
see
there. It's getting dimmer. You start to see the lights now that they're no longer being overshadowed by the blaze. What's the plan?
Well, in the morning we show up. go about this how we would if we had a bounty. Go up to the guards and say, hey, sorry to bother you. We heard you had a friend that we could use to get money.
I just had a thought. They're gonna inspect our ship.
Yeah,
Our ship
so...
that is now full of these images.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna... I mean, it's just my dwarf. It's just a little dwarf printer, oopsie. No, we just tell them these are all our other targets.
That's a lot of pictures.
It's a lot of pictures.
Well, I'll clean it up before we get up to board.
Okay. Alright. Yeah.
Well, we could probably show the port pass. Maybe they won't search our ship.
Yeah.
Here's hoping. Let's get to it then.
What are we gonna say if they like ask to search our ship and we have just pictures of people or lists of people?
We'll say, yeah, my little baby boy malfunctioned.
No, we'll just claim that one of us is an artist that draws people that they see.
That's what I said.
Okay, let's go. All right. As long as I'm not doing the talking.
We're selling them for half a copper.
My God. That might be the most hurtful way to describe a kid that's into art. Is like, yeah, my son malfunctioned. Doesn't want to be businessman.
Doesn't want to be lawyer. Doesn't want to be engineer.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be
Example,
doctor.
you don't want to be a cook in my restaurant until you're 60 and I'm 90, and then you get the restaurant.
Yeah. No, you get the restaurant when Gordon Ramsay comes in.
Oh no. Like the guy is actually just like sees Gordon Ramsay walking up. He's like, okay, son, big day. It's finally here. You're the new owner. Have fun.
I love that.
You find like a subreddit for family businesses, and you're like, Gordon Ramsay fired my dad. Tag emotional.
Subreddit. r/Gordon Remorse.
Gordon Remorse.
Okay. Let's get some sleep.
So, are you guys going in the morning, or are you going at night right now?
No, morning. Going at night is maybe the worst plan you could possibly have when all the guards are on high alert. Yeah, no, we can't. We certainly can't.
Yeah, no.
All right.
I'm definitely saying that we might want to do some shifts as well.
Yeah, where precisely did you lay anchor? Because when we left last session, you were like leaving, and then we cut it basically after you said no to docking at port, and we're like ambiguously heading off. I'll give you a bit of picture, right? So Redwine Keep, big old city. Redwine Keep is called that because it's a keep on what's actually a pretty large island that's full of vineyards. And this thing is a larger kind of mound, and the water's kind of worn off some sections, so there's a number of like peninsulas, larger islands that outcrop from it. And then the further you get, the smaller the islands are until they don't rise above the water anymore. Occasionally you'll see a little lighthouse. There's buoys that have been put up. Older ones, just like a barrel with a bit of sand at the bottom so it stays upright. There's a number of places you could dock sort of like out of the way that are reasonably close, or you could try to make your way away from the islands and kind of dock out in open water. Not too far in open water because you wouldn't be able to anchor. You still need some of the shallows, but you could also try and sail a bit further tonight and try to get to somewhere like New Farm Market. I would say or White Abbey, but you're not picking White Abbey.
What?
I mean,
come on, we could totally go to White Abbey. Yeah.
I mean, jail's here, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with us sort of just kind of plunking it where we plunk it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I haven't had to use this since the last campaign. This deck has gone woefully underused because, like, the campaign I'm running off stream, people live in like a town that has guards. So the whole point is that you don't use this when you live in a town. And then this one, you guys are on a boat. So, like, if there's a problem at sea, it's the entire session.
Yeah. I mean, in the other campaign,
Like
I left town once and hired adventurers specifically to avoid that.
It's this or this.
Yeah.
And I know this one makes you very mad.
8 directions? No!
See, at least with the deck of cards, there's hope, even though statistically it's 50-50. It's still 50-50 with the D8, but wind against you, it triggers something.
It's more annoying.
It triggers
like all of us are white people from North America, so we have some kind of centuries-old boat-related anger from having to, like... Someone from 300 years ago had to spend, like, 6 months on a sailing ship, and we're still angry about it.
Yeah. But...
And again, there's people in North America who are angrier about having been on boats. Justifiably.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but... also, I think that it triggers the same response as walking behind someone that's really slow in a high school hallway.
Yeah. Or on the street.
Well, on the street, it's not so bad because you can just kind of push them. But in high school, they got people
just
watching.
push them into the road. It's fine.
Yeah, or like into you walk past a Build-A-Bear workshop and you kind of shove them in and wait for the muffled screams. Like, it's not. There's a lot of places for people to be.
Yeah, the ditch.
Ditch.
Bitch. Mm-hmm.
Second sidewalk for bikes.
Yeah.
This entire campaign, I've been my gimpy old self walking around with a campaign. This entire pandemic, I've been my gimpy old self walking around with a cane, and it is everything within me not to, like, physically push away with a stick the people who are closer than 6 feet. Like,
yeah.
It's one thing to be like, dang, I would sure love to, yeah. But when you have a stick in your hand...
The best part is with that stick and your arm length, roughly you would just be like poking them with the stick, and if they turn around and give you a look, it's just like I should not be able to do this. I shouldn't be able to do this. Move the fuck away.
Favorite thing is waggling it like an old man.
Yeah, well, that's why they do it, you know?
All right, so it's the early night. Did you guys say you were going to keep watch?
I think it might be wise considering the sort of area and the recent events.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we go on this massive fucking heist. Nah, we sleep.
We sleep.
We literally don't do anything. This is literally nothing to do with us. Let's watch a little bit.
To be fair, you sleep away from the heist.
This is true. This is true.
So who's first?
I'll take first watch.
It's less than an hour when you see an Imperial ship approach. Or not an Imperial, sorry. A Westmark ship approach.
Are they, like, approaching us?
You know, I gotta say, it was not a good choice to have a campaign that consisted of people sailing from a current empire to a former empire. Because they're both the empire. It's not great.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Westmark ships of the former human empire, and they are coming towards you. You can see they have it's a primitive searchlight, so it's like a lit candle and then there's a reflecting mirror. It's not very strong.
All right.
Otto whizzes awake and that's ready for an encounter.
Stand by, Otto. They might just want to come ask what's going on.
Otto doesn't change demeanor in the slightest. It's still tracking the boat, but a little blinking light just stops.
That's appreciate that. They're like coming straight for us, eh?
Oh yeah,
They're like,
probably.
yeah, I'm gonna go wake up. Probably Bilgy. You're like, hey, sorry to wake you. We got we got company. You know, that's West March. Big old boat.
So Bilgy and Rooker stay in the same room. Rooker's like, what? And Bilgy's very alert by the time you've gone down there. He's like, yeah, I got it. I'll run a diversion. I'll get him up to speed. Tell the others.
Alrighty then. I guess I'm just going into the next sort of sleeping room and in like a very normal voice going, hey everybody, there's a boat. There's a West March boat.
Do you knock for Ken and Ye's room?
No.
Just, it's not that unreasonable considering if you were to knock for Bilgy's room and then Ken and Ye's, you would go like, clunk, clunk, clunk. Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Oh, I didn't knock for Bilgy's room either. If Son is getting someone's attention, he's walking into the room.
It's also a boat.
Yeah.
It's a boat. It's made of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a boat. It's made of wood. Sound kind of travels, but like, yeah, all right. That's just Son walking in.
I spent a lot of time sleeping in trailers. No one needs to knock.
Yeah, it's like, you're doing it. All right, that's pretty cool. Anyway, there's a boat coming, so put on some pants.
Yeah.
You hear shuffling from Tiana and Ken and Ye's. Jane Croquill?
All right, yeah. Put on some pants and get up.
Croquill doesn't take off her pants when she goes to sleep, so she just gets up again.
Whether or not you're wearing pants is for, like, Tiana and Ken and Ye for unmentionable reasons. Bilgy and Rooker for, like, a similar level of obscenity, but in, like, I get that you guys are frat bros, but holy shit boundaries kind of way.
Like Troll 2 bros in an RV way?
Yeah.
Like, if there is no assumption to be made. They're just very dicks out together kind of people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of fur.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a little bit less obvious.
Yeah.
You're all fleshies. You're the pants people.
Fleshies.
You're the people who have to locate clothing in case the building's on fire. Ugh.
Yeah.
I need to stop before I get the wrong people in chat. Alright, so
they're already there.
The ship slows up. Do you go back up?
Yeah, I'm going back up.
Because you're there and they're ready to interact, like they stand ready to throw the ropes, but yours is static and anchored. Theirs, they've already lowered the sails and they're just using momentum and kind of drifting alongside you. So it's a low list so that they kind of aim next to you. Instead of odds or evens, because this is something that actually has a specifically different probability, low or high?
Oh.
Low.
Oh.
Sorry, that's kind of vague. Narrow or broad?
Yeah, that's way less vague.
I stand by it. Now I'm proud of it. It's your fault.
Gotta go broad.
That's one vote for broad?
I would say broad, yeah.
Okay, broad. You see the colors of a White Abbey ship approaching.
So maybe Bilgy goes below deck.
He's a shapeshifter, my dude.
Oh, true.
So generally, the colors show a nation, and then the actual insignia show where they're from. So it's the colors that you see coming, and then instead of being the like teal and silver, when it gets closer, you can see that there's a black inlay that just shows like. You've seen the insignia for White Abbey before. It's one of those elaborate. You can paint it in really nice specific colors, but like when it's mass produced for ship sales, it's just black.
Yeah.
They basically let you know like they have to search you because of what happened. You know, stay calm. It's about the riots.
Oh yeah, the riots.
You can see like they're not trying to forcibly board your ship. They're like doing the hip up, like making sure you're ready to catch the rope to dock them up.
Yeah. Well, welcome to our humble abode, I suppose.
So he tosses a rope. Do you catch it, or do you just like?
Just let it drop. I can think of nothing that would make a police officer more furious than if you were like not even being aggressive or rude about it, just being like
not
willfully oblivious. Like, sorry, I didn't realize you needed help doing your job. Let me.
Did you want me to do that for you?
They want me to do that for you? Or...
That's how you get a police officer to go from calling you sir to calling you son.
Yeah. Luckily, that's my name, so you know. No, look here, son. Yeah.
I got it. That's real good.
Oh god.
Okay.
So,
yeah, we're gonna catch the rope. We're gonna be like,
yeah.
oh,
okay,
yeah.
who's above and who's below decks?
I'm above
Jane's,
deck.
Jane's probably coming up above decks now.
Okay, so you're coming up to deal with it because you were alerted. You're helping to tie down the ropes alongside Sun. Croquill?
Croquill is below decks because last time she had to talk to any other ship, they kind of manhandled her to the point where she attacked them, and we had to sink the ship. So she's just gonna she's just gonna stay below decks.
All right, so you sit down in a chair. The door is still closed for Rooker and Bilges. You can see that Tiana and Kennedy, like you can still see them actively like making sure that like stuff is stowed where it needs to be, but like not making it look like it was cleaned, like still leaving the bed kind of disheveled, that kind of thing. They leave the door wide open and then just go out to awkwardly like stand in the kitchen. You can tell because this has happened before that they know what they're doing, but they're acting kind of like as if they're talking to each other, like what's going on.
Yeah.
Kennedy comes over and he just kind of gestures and he goes, "Oh, cross your arms on the table. Act like you're leaning forward and putting it right down so they can see them."
Wait, sorry, what?
Make sure your arms are on the table.
Okay.
Croquill just kind of goes.
Here, and actually, hold on. It's okay if you can see like Kennedy put his hand on his arm and he kind of like gestures as if he's trying to arrange your things a little.
Yeah. Crocodle's just like, yeah, sure.
He grabs your stick and makes it so that it's just kind of like kept in your arm so that it's like you're making sure it doesn't fall over, but it's obvious when the guards walk in.
It's like, yeah, alright, yeah.
Alright. So above decks, you tie down the ropes. You're actually close in enough that they don't bother putting up a gangplank. You're similarly sized ships, and you're not super big. If you had passengers that were landlubbers, you would, but they're Navy, you're sailors, they just like jump a larger gap and catch onto the railing if they need to.
Yep.
Once they get to the other side, they go, "Alright, so we just have to ask everybody a couple questions, just do a quick survey of your cargo, check your papers. Is that alright?"
Yeah.
So, do you have your papers?
Yes.
We have our port pass and our manifest that were basically empty,
Yeah.
except for munitions in the hold and a fuck ton of paper.
Apparently, and a fuck ton of paper.
Yeah, we had a bit of a printer malfunction.
So when it comes to manifests, the whole reason you have a manifest is so that you can track goods going in and out of a ship over time per delivery. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to specifically have a manifest that says, like, left with empty cargo hold. So you hand over the manifest, you hand over the port pass. The guy looks at the port pass and goes, look, I'm really sorry. Dexter, could you... Thank you. We got a provisional warrant given the riots and the deployment of the Navy.
Yeah.
Worth noting at this point, they are talking to Sun. They are not talking to Jane. They are talking to the man of the ship.
Yeah, that's a mistake. That's all right. You know,
which actually makes it more funny considering that Jane is from White App or like in and around that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we saw it coming in. Seems like you folk have a lot on your plate. You want to do your job proper. I get that.
So he hands over the warrant. You're able to give it a look over. It's legit. It basically just says, like, due to the riots taking place, in more exacted legal words, they can violate the port pass in very specific ways, which is basically like a light search. Like light to heavy, heavy being they detain you and pat you down and open every single box and throw things over all over the place. Light being they ask you to crack a crate and they dust the top and they check your bunks.
Yeah, let me take a look here. Put on my reading glasses. In these unprecedented times, we are committed to safety and well-being. Yeah, that checks out.
Due to circumstances outside our control.
God.
So the guy stays over there, and then he gestures for a couple of guards. They walk up and down the ship. They go below decks, and then he goes, all right, so he isn't bothering to separate you for this. He's just asking you quick questions. He goes, I see that you're anchored off at the docks. According to your manifest, you didn't dock. You didn't dock at Redwine, correct?
No. Wait, one second. We're in Redwine right now, right?
We're in the waters around it. We're not at Redwine.
Yeah, that
okay.
is.
So yeah, we're on our way to Redwine. We're gonna dock in the morning.
Yeah, we were planning to dock, but we saw sort of the situation and thought that might be a better thing to tackle in the morning.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, the way you would fill out a manifest, if you've got absolutely nothing in your hold, you would just, like, write no destination, but then cargo gets individual destinations. So your last location was Newtown. That's where you left with an empty cargo hold. He goes down and sees, you got nothing in your cargo hold. The guards are getting down there. So do you guys want to follow the search below decks or the upper deck?
I think Sun would definitely be heading below deck because that's where his workshop is.
Okay, so do you wait for an opening? Do you interrupt? Because, like, people are immediately searching below decks right now.
I would be saying, excuse me, officer, Jane can answer any questions. I gotta go make sure, like, I'm got a workshop full of gunpowder. I want to make sure the ship doesn't go up.
Do you have a license on you?
Do I have a license? Sun would have a license for pretty much everything, I feel like.
I mean, Sun has the licenses for sure, but are they in his pocket or in his
would be in the workshop.
Okay, so he goes, yeah, for sure. If it's a powder workshop, we got to check licenses, make sure to get those ready.
Yep, sure thing.
All right, so it's just Jane above decks. Yes.
Is it just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that Mrs.?
A miss.
Also, I think you figured out the shtick behind this guy. Just let me know if it gets too much.
That's okay.
So, miss, you said?
Yeah.
All right, miss. So this ship came by, was sailing down the last location. Could you tell me the last place you were actually docked in at port? Like the ship actually stopped, they threw the ropes over.
Was that Newtown, guys? Jane would know this.
It would be Newtown.
Yeah, that was
Newtown? Newtown.
Is this man mansplaining sailing to Jane? And when I say dock, I mean...
And when I say
Look,
dock, you actually had to go in.
Asking if it's Miss or Mrs. You know where this is going.
Yeah.
All right, so last location was Newtown. And are you aware of what happened here, or did you just pass by the port with all of this unreasonable kerfuffle?
I don't believe that we are aware of what's going on.
No idea.
I'm sure this is very shocking. How are you feeling?
I'm very good, thank you.
That was an ungodly noise. I'm sorry, friends.
Well, make yourself comfortable. Probably easier if you just stay above decks while they're searching. This shouldn't take too long. Yes.
Make yourself comfortable on my ship.
Yeah.
All right, so below decks, sailors start making their way down. You follow up. They turn around and it's like a brief moment where they're obviously like, "What are you?" And then it's like, "I just gotta." And they see all the notices and they just nod. They give you a moment to unlock the doors, get all your stuff ready.
Yeah.
Croakwill, as you're sitting there, you hear them walk around and past you.
Perfect. I would very much like for them to ignore me.
You hear the creaking as based on you can also hear the searching. It's just a light ruffling, and you also hear that it's rhythmic, like they pull back the bed sheets and then throw them over. Like they're not trying to dishevel this to make a point. They're actually trying to be like, "I'm sorry, we just have to." They notice the desk, and then but at this point the captain is starting to clamber down. He goes, "They have a port pass. You're not allowed to search the desk." This is sir, we are allowed to ask, and you do have to answer. Is this the rookery? We can see the masks, but for the record,
We killed him and kept. No, yeah, we're the rookery.
Roll perform.
Okay. That's gonna be that's gonna be a 46 plus 8. No.
Can I chime in on this
Well,
to
how many
assist?
people ever heard of?
Absolutely.
No need, because that's a 6, baby.
So he's gonna do his performance, and Croakwill is gonna be like, the screams will echo in my ears forever.
Wait, are we actually going with the lie that we killed a bunch of rookers?
Not a lie. It's a perform. It's like it's a joke,
I see.
but you're joking while they're searching your ship.
I see.
And Croakwill is going the incredibly dark route, so we'll see if this actually pays off. That is a 9. So together we got 69.
15.
No.
So you joke like, oh yeah, we killed them, and then you get like one kind of lowly chuckle and an eyebrow raise. There's an audible pause, and Croakwill, you chime in like, "Won't forget their screams," and then a couple of the other guards chuckle. The captain gives kind of a laugh and goes, "All right. Anyways, don't search the desk. You're not allowed to." Right. One moment. I have to do the munitions check myself. Starts to make his way over to the workshop.
Now I'm gonna warn you. My kid had kids. He got really into art, and a bit of a mess in there, but I can help you find whatever you need to find. And I open the door to the workshop, and it's just like knee-deep in paper.
So he looks up and down. He looks over at the writing desk. He looks over at Otto, and he goes, "Your kid, huh?"
Yeah, you're the first one to sort of recognize the fatherly bond between a man and his creation.
So he's consciously like staying on the edge of the threshold. You see him like put his thumbs on his belt, wrap his fingers around, and then like step over the threshold. And he goes, "Can you hold up your papers for me to read them?"
Yep. And I'm wading through the paper to the little locked filing cabinet where I keep them all. Yeah, it should be right in here. Let me get them out here and sifting through, and I pull out. I probably just have a folder labeled licenses, and I pull that out and start thumbing through it. And you want say White Abbey specifically, or
we just need anything marine related since you haven't docked.
Oh, I see. Yeah, sure thing. And
You said it was a 6 and a 9, right?
Yep.
So you see him pick up the pictures and look him over, and he goes, "Well, I guess an automated cannon's got a funny way of learning art, but good on you. I, for one, think the dwarves were onto something."
Oh, now for sure. They.
Also, I know that, like, me as a GM, I'm gesturing with my hands because I want to, but this guy is, like, consciously, he's very rigid. He's keeping his hands in his belt. He's keeping his elbows in.
He is not going to knock anything over.
Oh, yeah.
He just kind of, like, he looks and then he'll, like, lean over and look at something else. Looks at your papers. He goes, "All right. Mind if I check the next one?"
Yeah, sure thing. The next paper?
The next door.
Oh.
Because the apparatus is past the munitions room.
Right. Yeah, that's we call it the apparatus. It's a kind of a temperamental thing, but
do I need another technician for that?
Yeah. Gordon, yay!
Kennedy's just in the other room. He like goes, "Oh, that's me. Sorry, excuse me." The captain kind of awkwardly shuffles out of the munitions room, like flattens against the wall as like Kennedy shuffles forward. He leans over. He just kind of like shakes his head, pushes some of these papers aside, takes out a key, unlocks one of his cabinets. He takes out his own papers. He then like moves forward. He unlocks the next door. Opens it up and leads the guy in. He goes, "Keep your hands at least 1 foot away from the machine. That's the only regulation. I have my Canon certificate and experimental mechanics." The guy looks at it and goes, "That looks good." "What is that? That's amazing." So meanwhile, you guys are watching as like in the rest of the ship, like Crowquill, you're at the table. Jane, you are above decks, making yourself comfortable.
Oh no!
Are you actually making yourself incredibly comfortable? Or are you standing around in defiance?
Jane is standing around kind of awkwardly.
Yeah.
Like, Jane is like, he's like, "Make yourself comfortable," and Jane was like, "Oh, okay," and then just kind of shifted a little bit and like,
I'm gonna find a bed of nails to sit on while I wait for you to come back. I'm gonna be intentionally uncomfortable when you come back.
Yeah, that'll show him.
You just like, you adjust your jacket.
yeah.
You put a strand of hair over your ear. You adjust your belt.
Yeah.
You shake your head, and the same strand comes loose.
Yeah.
Adjust your jacket.
Yeah.
That'll teach him.
Below decks, the guards, they lift up the mattresses. They briefly open up the cabinets. Just by pure luck, compared to the guards that, like, completely missed your stowed stuff, these ones actually, like, check behind the clothing and check the spot that the bags would have been kept in before you sold them. But you have nothing. It's just clothes. Close it. Close it. Go over. They open a couple of the cabinets. They get to the back. They start searching Kenny and Tiana's room. Meanwhile, the Kenny is explaining stuff about the apparatus, and he goes, "It has a repeating counterbalance. That's part of we have a actual. I installed an initial set of hydraulic shock, and like he's getting carried away, and as he does that, like." As he leans closer to like point at sections of the machine, like there's a little bit of engine grease that drips out of his ear or his nose, and he just kind of like wipes it away without thinking.
All right, bud. I think he got what he needed.
Right, of course. Both of you. So I understand your ship didn't dock. Your last location was Newtown. You had nothing to do with these riots. Your manifest is empty. Can I ask where you're heading?
Yeah, well, we were heading into town.
On what business?
Oh, well, we were running a bounty. Actually, heard one of them might have been mixed up in some sort of demonstration or protest around here.
Oh, well, you mind if I take a look? That's a whole other issue.
Yeah, sure thing. Crowquill!
Crowquill, like, shifts, gets up, and, like, goes down the stairs, but, like, doesn't enter the room and is specifically like, I'm not allowed to enter the room, and, like, hands the bounty.
Yeah, she used to be allowed to enter the room until the incident.
So you hand over the bounty, you move over to the chair, you go back to your original position. You hear like the guards just kind of like moving around, checking stuff in Kenny and Tiana's room. As the guy looks it over, he goes, 5 gold's probably not gonna get him to you. We got issues with extradition because of the riots. Look, I'll save you a bit of travel if this is your only business in town. So, you go in town. You're gonna come across a lead ship. It'll flag you. Follow it to a designated port. I'll tell you what. Stick around after we've left the ship. I'll sign an affidavit saying that this ship is pre-searched because we're here now. From there, if you go over to the regular entrance exit of Redwine Prison, you should be able to present it to him. I'll tell you now, it's real unlikely to the point where if you don't want to go through this rigmarole, you might just want to tear that up for a 5 gold bounty. You're probably not going to get it.
Well, sir, as they say up north, we always get our man.
Well, be that as it may, the word on the inside is that if it's less than 25, they aren't going to pull him out unless the warden signs off on it. Warden White is a bit of a stickler.
Okay.
Crowquill's already planning to like shift the 5 and just add like a 2 next to it. Shift the kerneling just a little bit.
Well, I appreciate your warning, sir, but you know, where it became all this way, might as well give it the old college try. Give it the old elemental college try, you know?
Well, that's your right. All right, he comes back out. Crowquill, you hear him kind of like grind over. You hear a couple of gauntleted hands kind of like brace against the table. Goes, all right, Mrs.
Miss.
Okay, he's not talking to me. Okay.
You're with this crew, yes? You work with the Rookery?
Correct.
All right. You've been kept appraised of their travel. Your next destination was supposed to be here for a secondary bounty contract, right?
Correct.
Okay. Are you aware of what's happening in town?
Vaguely.
All right. Same goes for You two gestures to Tiana and Kenyi as like the guards finish taking care of one of the rooms. He goes, "You and then like Tiana kind of goes like, just enough to like not interrupt, but give the opening so that he can stop. He does, and he goes, and Tiana goes like, came from Newtown, going to Red Wine, empty manifest. We saw Burning Bay and are surprised as you were. Kenny just kind of nods along. The guards, you hear them knock, and then you hear a dog, but like not in a threatening way, like a dog, like a small dog being like, and you hear the voice like, "Sorry, she's not very kind to strangers. Careful. Okay, be very nice. I like her a lot. Okay." The guards are like, "All right."
It's Frooker and Bilgy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The door cracks open. Rooker's like partially concealed behind it. He raises a hand and like rubs sleep from his eyes, and he goes, "Oh shit!" And Bilgy, you recognize Bilgy. They see a little dog. He's like, "Bilgy." There's like a little like schnauzer just going like jumping on people's legs, bouncing off the furniture, like running up and down the kitchen.
Yeah.
At this point, the guard looks at him. He looks back over. Does somebody want to roll for Rooker? I want to make this be a player thing, just because like there's no point with me rolling against myself if it's like a focal point.
I'll roll. What do I got roll?
This is part of a ruse to keep them from searching the last room. What's your play to dissuade them? Are you too sleepy? Are you like obviously wearing pajamas and scratching your ass? Did you partially hear what's going on and you're like, yeah, the riot, blah blah blah, and you're like being compliant, and then you like almost bluff being like, go ahead, search the room?
If I were trying to get a bunch of guards to not search a room, I would. I feel like my initial response is just to gaslight them. I already, searched all of the rooms. I want to be getting to bed. If there's any other business here, and they say, well, what about that room? It's like, the office. I mean, they already got all the papers. Remember, we went in and it's all full of drawings, and so that might be a little too bold-faced. So I guess I'll just look very sweepy. I'm so sweepy. So sweepy.
Alright, so you're going with the so sweepy angle.
It's so sleepy. Yeah.
Okay, roll perform with 2d6 plus 5.
Okay. That is a 12.
So, Rooker just kind of like sways a little. He goes, "Oh, is this a search? I thought we were supposed to talk in the morning. Is it morning already?"
No, it's
I must have slept terribly. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I have to. Would you give me a minute? I have my loose underwear on the ground. I want to. And then the guards kind of look from side to side. The captain just goes, it's all right. We've tossed you up and down. Well, he kind of just like gestures, and the guards like gather to leave the ship. He goes, if you'll just stall a minute, I'll get you those pre-approval papers, and then you should be good.
Well, thank you kindly.
Jane is standing very awkwardly still on the top deck, just kind of like looking at them.
Not sure how to be comfortable.
I am very comfortable right now.
I am I'm so very comfortable right now.
Very
Yes.
comfortable.
Yes, this is my comfortable seated position.
So one of the remaining Navy guards on the ship is just kind of like awkwardly standing at the wheel in one of those ways where it's like there must be some regulation that says he can't leave. He's given you glances for like 10 minutes straight. As the guards come up, all men, of course, uh, the two guards who were like below decks searching, they go like, "Miss, miss." And the captain goes, "Thank you for your time, miss." Goes across the gangplank. Well, not across the gangplank. They all do a hup.
What
They hop
fucking
across the
gentleman.
gangplank. Yeah, only, hey, does your man hop?
Your man.
Is it like normal uniform for these White Abbey soldiers to be wearing fedoras? Because I'm picturing them with fedoras.
They are tricorns, so you can. They're not fedoras, but you can 100% milady, and there is a feather.
You know what? That might even be better.
Yeah, in terms of raw sort of miladies per second.
I feel like it does have a stronger miladies
It's
per
a high
second.
ML. It's a high MLPS hat. So
my brain was trying to connect that to My Little Pony, and I nearly like perished.
the captain comes
Yeah,
out.
that's a dangerous mental decline on that one.
You can see these must have been not made by a scribe. They must not have that luxury, but like the captain hours earlier made like a whole bunch of these, and now he's like filling in different underlined spaces. He comes out. It's still a little faintly damp, but like it's been sanded over enough that it won't smudge. Passes you the parchment with a little seal on it, saying that you've been pre-searched for when you dock.
Cool. You have yourself a nice night there, officer.
You too. Stay safe.
Oh man, whose idea was it? This is after he leaves. Whose idea was it to make it worth 5 gold? Oh.
And like Crocodle's just like, oh, cool, a document I don't have to forge. Alright.
Well, what are we gonna do?
Jump to morning?
Should I add the 2? I mean, I'm going back to sleep. I'm fucking tired. I can add the 2 in the morning.
Famous last words, you know?
Yeah.
It's a little bit later than usual in the dawn when you all groggily awaken. As the guards left, they put like a little tie on your railing. They let you know, like, take this off when you leave port. You can see as you're like getting above decks and starting to get the masts ready, there's a ship that's already kind of departing that saw the tie and just kind of let you be.
Huh.
Nice.
It's like a port pass for racists.
Are there like different colored ties for the level of acceptability? Like, we got like a red tie, but like what you really want is a white tie.
Well, you have a yellow tie, so it's definitely ambiguous.
All right.
It's not green, it's not red.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go.
You don't know if they just only had yellow.
So, oh, you have a yellow tie? Your parents must not be rich.
So there's, at this point, most of the ships have started to flounder into the bay. There's still a patrol ship that has a flag available indicating that you follow.
I'm hastily editing the bounty to add the 2 in there.
All right. How are you doing that?
It's
on the physical paper or in the enchantment?
In the enchantment. I'm basically like magically like shifting the like warping the stuff around it and adding the 2.
Okay. Do you want to give me a roll for that?
Sure.
With a -3 penalty because you're editing.
Fair enough.
But you're editing the 5 into a 25. It's the detriment is based on what it'll look like, but it's actually a lot harder for magical reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, make no difference what you say.
That is a 27. Wait, sorry. I did math poorly. That is a 24.
Okay. So do you want to add the 24 to the existing roll? I think it was a 35 or 45.
For 34. Oh, wait, no, plus that thing. I forgot what
No,
it
it was something with a 9. Somebody rolled a 19,
59?
somebody rolled a 14.
I rolled a 9.
What?
No, that was for the 6 and the 9.
Yeah, that was for the 96 joke.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a 59?
Okay.
Because it was
was-
Otto's really good roll plus
25.
my booned roll.
Okay, I remember there being a 9. I remember having to do like additions that brought me into like the 30s or 40s. I think it was a 25 and a 19. So a 25 and a 14. So 25, 29, 39. 39 plus 24, 43, 63? Does that
Sure.
work?
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, it's me. Yeah.
63
So-
sounds good.
Even though, like, if you were just physically altering a forgery, to change a 5 gold bounty into a 25 gold bounty, you would have to make sure that you add a little gold along the seal, and then, like, just write a 2 in front of the 5. In terms of the magical, like, fooling enchantment that you put on this piece of paper so that whatever garbage you put on there people perceive as correct, it's something where the difference between a 5 gold bounty and a 25 gold bounty is perceived importance to the viewer. So it's like tuning a string higher and higher. You start low where it's like, this was originally a few robberies and all that stuff, and then you just go, Is anybody watching this over Crocwell's shoulder?
Jane might be, yeah.
The sun is not. The sun doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, you hear the fluttering of papers being pushed out of the way in the workshop. Son, are you putting them in a bin? Are you like putting them in a pile, or are you just pushing them out of the way so that your workshop's clear?
Oh, I am lovingly like putting them, packaging them. Gonna make good on my promise to create targets. Like as though these are all priceless paintings that have the misfortune of being scattered across my workshop. You know, I am treating these with more reverence than NFT bros love their Vor Alliance or whatever.
What?
What?
Okay.
What?
Instead of having no idea what to say, I just have too many thoughts about NFT people where if I say anything, it's going to be another rabbit hole, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's the intent behind NFT Vor Lions.
Hang on, let me toss that into Nero Blender and see what.
No.
I'm going on the like banned off of Bloodwine stream list. We have Neuroblender and we have NFTs. I'm just gonna preemptively add Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
I know that those are
anything involving a multi-billionaire, NFTs, Neuroblend. Those are all on the list.
Yeah.
all right. So, Jane, you look over your shoulder as Crocwell's doing this, and you watch as like the counts that you perceive, like it's like this count of this crime, this count of this crime, which corresponds to like the stuff that you've seen, starts to slowly shift. Like it's 1 count, then 2 counts of robbery, and then the line kind of shifts and the ink wobbles, then underneath it's like one count armed robbery, and then ding 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 ding. And then there's one aggravated assault charge that comes up down the bottom, and you see 25 gold as Croakville goes, done.
Like a slot machine.
The final line reads like, wanted in connection to like assault and robbery of armed base in river, like armed garrison in Riverbend, like also jaywalking.
Yeah.
Son, there's a massive pile of papers that you're lovingly placing together. It's an entire printer roll minus the one that was, auto can print.
Yep.
And like this was a dwarven printer roll, you know, like it's a whole bunch of looped papers that like clip each other off. This print's like 400 pages. Yeah. Roll some long odds for this.
Oh boy. All right. You know it's got to be the ace of evens. Ooh, baby, that's a 4 and a 2.
Okay. You find a... Remind me the last places that your ship docked. Newtown, but then before that, and then before that, and before that.
Oh, God.
It was Newtown, then before that it was Redwine Keep, and then before that it was Riverbend.
Damn, you're good. You're good at this. You're good at D&D.
You find a printed picture from when you were in Riverbend that has this dude carrying a stack of papers.
Huh. Well, what do you know? Like,
you think you can make these out as like the notices that were plastered all over Riverbend?
Huh. Well, that's incriminating. I'm gonna put this in also up on the fridge.
Which dude?
The dude we're gonna go kill.
Oh.
Yeah, Rooker Mariner.
Rooker Mariner, the unluckiest man.
The unluckiest.
I mean, he doesn't make much of his luck.
Well, I'm just saying, most people don't have their mistakes not only like thrown back in their face, but thrown back in their face by somebody who could easily beat them up. You know?
Every single time.
Yeah, like it's not even a contest.
Yeah.
It's like
he trips walking down the street, and then we all show up to call him a fucking nerd and push him into mud puddle.
Like we are his Squilliam.
See, why are we talking about alphas and betas when we can talk about Squidwards and Squilliams?
Yeah.
Wait, isn't there a new one now, though? One that's above the alpha?
There's a lot.
Okay. This is what I remember. I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but I feel like it's funnier if I misremember. So, first off, important to remember, all of this is based off of a study of wolf behavior that was in captivity, and the exact same author not only did a lot of people be like, this is actually kind of bullshit for reasons, the author said that, he tried to retract the paper, and he published a subsequent study disproving the previous results.
Yeah.
The idea was that there were alpha and beta wolves. The alpha leads the pack, the betas follow. But this happened with random captured wolves in captivity, and subsequent research on actual wolves in the wilderness. The alphas were the parents of most of the wolves, and then there were like random lone adult wolves that joined the pack, or like adopted kids, you know?
Yeah,
it's wild, it's rough. A family is a bit more vague. And so the idea was that alphas are the pack leaders, betas are the followers. And that's what it was for a long time, except you want to sell books, and you want to sell books to... I don't believe in alphas and betas, but let me put it this way. If alphas and betas are real, alphas are the people writing the, like, How to Bang Ukraine books, and betas are buying them.
Yeah.
So you reach an impasse where you get this, like, black pill incel stuff where a lot of people are going, oh, I'm a beta, and then they're going, oh, that's why I'm getting laid. Oh, that's why the world is messed up. Oh, that's why I should kill myself. Gets real bad. So these guys go, oh shit. Not only are we literally losing our viewer, like our readership in a really depressing way, but like people are no longer buying because they're starting to realize that if there's alphas and betas, and we describe the alphas as being the wolves that bully the small wolves are buying our books.
Yeah.
So that's where the hierarchy expands. Because see,
Oh.
here's the thing: the Sigma male is just trying to convince betas they're alphas, right?
Yes.
Again, I'm talking about this at length. I gotta reiterate, all of this is bullshit.
Yeah.
But like, it's bullshit that's contradicting itself and disproving itself at this point. It's bullshit within its own logic. So you have the alphas, you have the betas, you have the sigmas, which are like... I have the feed of like the XSplit, and I can tell right now that
I'm
there's, like,
trying, but it's
being put
not.
together.
XSplit is frozen right now, and I can't get rid of the title.
I just see title T.
I can't select anything. XSplit is genuinely frozen.
That's fine, because let's talk about T. Let's talk about testosterone.
Let's get the T. Fucking
testosterone.
Here's the thing, right? This starts to come into this testosterone mythology, because all of these people that sell the books, all the alpha beta stuff, this starts to intersect with the crowd that sells supplements. It starts to intersect with the gym bros, because there's some people who see this alpha beta stuff and they see there's alphas and their betas, and they see that they're more like beta space, or they see that they're alpha space. Either way, you try to go, you know what? I have determination. I can just go to the gym. I can do this. And you want to ascend to alpha, right?
Yeah.
And if you're already alpha, you want to go above that. And that's when, because we're going to the gym and we're taking supplements, testosterone gets involved. You ever heard of soy boys?
Oh no. Oh no. What have we done? What have we created?
Okay, Will, I love you. I'm gonna let you finish, but XSplit is genuinely frozen and the stream is still working, but I can't get rid of the title that's on Gabe's face. I need to restart XSplit, alright? So...
I will truncate my speech, we'll restart XSplit, and it'll be a good way to get back on topic. Man. You got this hierarchy. You got the Sigmas on top, who are really betas, who are secretly... also, it's always Keanu Reeves from John Wick. It's always Keanu Reeves from John Wick. I don't know why.
Because he's the perfect man.
So there's that, and then there's Deltas and Omegas, and I forget which is which, but one of them is like... It's almost like the monastic beta piece, where it's like people who have kind of gone through the cycle and now they get to retire and live as just regular citizens and they're happy. And then another one is like, think about the worst internet comment you've ever seen. That's the person that this describes. I think it's Omegas or Deltas, one of the two. I keep forgetting which is which, but it's like, they're basically the people who give a bunch of money to cam girls and subscribe to OnlyFans and vote for Joe Biden. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. And
the study was debunked by the guy who wrote it.
Well, yeah, because it's not real.
Okay, that's great.
No,
we'll restart.
No. Last thing. This has to be the last thing right before we cut.
Okay.
All of this is also used. All right.
I know we're back live, but like, why do you guys always post such cursed shit? Hi everybody.
We just gotta have cursed streams. We just gotta have cursed streams where we post the most horrific shit we can and have it be a thing we do.
Are we live
on a
now?
day?
Yeah, we're live.
Just have it be a thing we do on the day and purge it so we can focus.
Yeah. God, yeah. I'd like to apologize. You know, that's not who I am. I was in a dark place, and I let you down. and I'm sorry.
The dark place being Neuroblend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've read all the comments and you've taken some time to self-reflect.
yeah,
And going forward,
right, and going forward, I'll try really hard to make sure my friends are always comfortable with my jokes, and I won't do that thing that I did at the Halloween party where I got my brother up and we did a fun pantomime. I won't do that anymore. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm just
Gabe, I can't accept your apology because I need you to keep doing this because I rely on it for comedy. Please don't stop. Please don't stop.
I wish I had a big golden retriever so I could pet him and everyone would know I'm a good person.
All right. So you start to talk. You throw up the ropes in the morning after getting things ready. You've cleaned up the best you can, but you don't have to because you dock. They show the port pass. They show the warrant. You show the pre-approval. They check. It's literally the same stamp and same signature on both.
Hell yeah.
Like it's not even a particular likelihood. It's just this happens to be they have the same supervisor.
Oh, nice.
You guys are docked at Redwine Keep right around the dawn hour. Normally, there would be at least some people getting ready, getting some, they're getting their ships ready on the docks. People are starting to wheel produce into markets, but
they're all dead.
Everybody's dead.
All of you are dead.
There's definitely stains and some garbage, but there's no bodies. The rubble has been mostly pushed to the side of the roads.
Love that. Love that for us.
Yeah, that's great. All right, let's head to the jail.
Yep.
Who is staying on the boat?
I'd like to imagine probably Rooker and Bilgy.
Yeah, they both go, hand up, hand up.
Yeah.
With the moment the question is asked.
I'm gonna go to make sure I can maintain the pass if anything should go wrong.
And if it should fail before we kill, I pray to Lord, my soul to shell.
Yeah, all right.
So just the two of them?
I'm going. Yeah, I think just the two of them. Because we ain't leaving here without our friend, like, yeah.
So, it's one of those things where once you're on the docks, you won't look so conspicuous, but definitely you watch, Canon Ye put on, make sure his gun is thrown over his back, make sure that, the little launchers on his crutches are loaded up. Tiana makes sure that, she's got all of her daggers strapped, she's got a couple of throwables. You guys are all getting ready up top, and you start walking out onto the town. Bilgy, as a dog, is running around, occasionally running down the port, and performatively, because, they do a routine as a pair to just seem like, oh, yeah, Rooker is kind of with his hands in his pockets, just traipsing up and down the deck as you start walking along. Your target is very obvious. Redwine Keep is a big city, and it has a few major buildings, and the prison is one of them. The way it is you follow the docks, and normally you have to go up a whole bunch of staircases, and they have these big masoned inclines so you can bring wagons up. And then most of the city is up a ridge. The gallows are by the high market on the top of the ridge, and then the entrance to the actual prison is you follow the docks, and then you follow a dirt road a while. That's the main kind of service entrance. This area itself juts out from the ridge at around the height of the ridge where the town is into the water, and then there's a tower, there's a dock that comes off of it, and then there's another big ridge, big tower at the end in the water. Kind of folded into the dock.
Well, I'm kind of making our way up through the streets, trying to look professional and not frightened, and like we
You-
really belong here.
That's
You'll-
that's the essence of Croquill right now. Croquill is feeling no fear. She's getting like vindication on this one.
You perform this for the scarce guards that are in. Normally, when guards patrol, they'll patrol a busy road and it's just one guard or maybe two casually chatting and looking up and down the road. Here, there's almost nobody, and there are groups of like 5 guards going in clusters down the road. They're the people that you're performing for.
Oh
Everybody
boy.
else you encounter on the road, they aren't concerned about you. They're keeping their heads down. You see,
Yep.
like, even the people carrying, like, goods and stuff are moving a bit faster than they need to and kind of lingering around the docks until they're ready to go. You follow the road a while until you're down at the base of the prison here. Here, the staircase winds a bit, carved into the ridge, until a few stories up, there's the actual gate. From here, you can see like there's 4 different sections that recess inward with buttresses. This is almost 16 stories tall. Even for a building of this construction style, it's huge and it's narrow. It's very like the walls of a French cathedral kind of thing.
Oh, God.
There's a large portcullis that has been raised up. There's an inward one that's also been raised up, and between the two, you can see that there are very large runes inlaid with different metals of different colors, like copper and gold and steel and mercury. It looks like there's a really rigorous mage-proofing arch that you're funneled through.
Mage proofing? So I won't be able to cast, or does it dispel?
So basically what it is it's like cancel, 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 and it's a permanent right, and it's like every single individual rune cancels a different type of magic. This is meant to pop your guards, it's meant to cancel scries, it's meant to make it so that enchanted items, either if they're strong enough, they just get repelled, if they're weak enough, they fail. Any active magic tends to get dispelled and has to be recast from within. It also glows anytime that either A, active magic, or B, someone with a magical score above 3 passes through.
Well,
Beans.
You guys can see this and describe it, but you don't need to give many descriptions of runes. This is one of the only things that's in Croquill's field of vision, is this vast, glowing vacuum aura.
fuck.
Can you?
Well,
As you're getting closer, you can see that there's actually... This is one of the few places that's busy. There's a lot of other bounty hunters that are there. Some of them you can see like there's someone carrying a whole bunch of chains. Their parties full of professional, like full career bounty hunters. Some of them even have like little wagons that they're carrying with little cages in them. There's a whole bunch of people like waiting there, and you can see that like everyone's directed to wait at the bottom of the steps, and then they get called up individually as the guards come by.
Okay.
Okay, so our fake bounty might not cut it.
Pretty much everything on me won't cut it. I myself will trip it. The bounty will trip it. My fork will trip it.
Yeah.
Hell, warbles might even trip it.
Yeah. This really isn't your night, bud.
I'm gonna have to not go in there.
Yeah.
Is there any like windows to this place?
There are hundreds.
Any of them open?
Basically, every window here is a cell window, which means they're extremely high up in the cell, and they're like the size of a head, and they have hard iron bars in them.
Oh boy.
Who here is, excuse me, who here is from Redwine Keep or spent any significant amount of time there?
Yeah.
Okay. Would either of you have ever been inside this prison for any reason? This is not long-term imprisonment. Some of it is, but this is also
Oh,
like
100%.
you got caught loitering. Okay.
I used to
I
run
believe-
gambits with fucking... I used to run my gambit here. I definitely have been in this prison at some point in my childhood.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
You're familiar.
I'm gonna
Was
roll
it?
two. I'm gonna roll 2d6 for Croquill. You tell me, is this weeks, months, or years?
Not years. Maybe weeks? Or maybe months? Definitely a week. Definitely, like, longer than a week.
How about if it's low, it's months. If it's high, it's weeks.
Okay.
Fucking 2d6. 7.
Yeah, statistical average!
Yeah.
So, were you in for a 2-month stint, or
I feel like
for
it's a...
almost?
I feel like it's a collective 2-month stint. Like, I
Okay,
got
so it's
I
like-
got caught a lot, probably.
You got
They were-
caught on like 12 overnights, and then like a couple of week longs, and then 1 month long. Like,
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
They were.
Doesn't my father work here? Okay. So
he's
I.
the warden.
Oh right. He's
Oh,
the warden.
no!
Ah, beans. Oh no. You know that's.
He's Warden White.
Oh right.
Jane's last name is not Doe.
Oh boy.
So yeah, we're staying outside the prison, and I'm like, "Ah, I got something I need to share.
You know, if it's it's that time of the month. I just want you to know it's natural and.
Guys, my father's the warden here.
What? You didn't? Like, is he still?
I don't know. I haven't really spoken to him in quite some time at this point, but I'm sure he is.
Does he know?
Does he know what?
I just kind of vaguely gesture, like,
Like, life?
Like, he knows of my existence, yes.
I'm pretty sure that this is one of those things where it's not whether or not Jane's parents know that she does this. It's, did Jane learn this to get away from them or to get through a childhood with them?
Yeah, like,
well, this is great then. Just go up to your old pop and say, hey, got a bounty that needs picking up. Don't suppose you could, pull any favors, being my pops and all.
Hold on.
You would need to spend 15 gold on a dress to do that.
yeah.
Hold on. Warden White is your father?
Yeah, that's
The
what you just
same
said.
the same Warden White that used to kick the shit out of me in my cell.
Yeah, probably. That's the one. Uh-huh.
I've known you for a long time, so I'm not going to judge you by your parents' actions. However, were I to know his home address, he would no longer have a home to return to.
Yeah, well.
Well, I mean, I for one, not really all that surprised. I mean, it's Jane. You know,
Like, I knew your parents were your parents, but like,
I mean,
ah,
no, like Croquill, her whole job is hiding things. I wouldn't be surprised, you know.
So, I don't know.
So at this moment, the worst of all moments, a guard walks up. You can see like they must have ordered another patrol to come and help with the bounty processing. A whole bunch of guards are like walking up the line and individually like grabbing people's papers and checking them. 2 out of 3 passes. Do each of you individually want to roll odds or evens?
Sure.
Sure.
Odds, always.
Evens. And that's an odd. Oh boy.
1 fail.
I failed.
You failed. Okay, I got a 4 on an even.
Nice.
So I didn't say it out loud, but I always do evens.
So you see that standing on the other side of the mage-proofed gate, there is someone by a table with like a couple of ledgers, like picking them up and leafing through them one by one. A guard comes down and goes, "Mind if I check your bounty?"
Oh, by all means, that's why we're here.
Sure.
All right, and that's okay. This one is slated for extradition to Riverbend, I think. Let me double check that. Okay. Odds or evens?
Evens.
Evens.
He leaves the bounty with you and goes up to ask the guy with the book.
Ooh-wee. Listen, it's the only copy. We really need to hang on to that.
It's in your hands. The guy goes and he flips through the book for a moment. After a while, he comes back down and he goes, look, this one's got extradition to Riverbend. You're going to have to come either with a 25 gold bail to effectively purchase this bounty for, redemption when you bring him back to Riverbend, or you got to be able to get an Imperial seal on this.
25
Right.
gold.
Yes, thank you. We'll look into that.
Yep. We'll scrounge our pockets and whatnot.
Look, you should be quick, all right? With everything that happened in the riot, Westwatch and White Abbey are furious.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
No, like if he's not out of there in a month, he's on the gallows line.
Well, that's our problem solved, but doesn't help us with the bounty.
Doesn't help you with the bounty.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
The guard moves on to talk to other people in line. You can see that some people have carts and wagons and they're awkwardly trying to turn around. The guards are spending more time like traversing the line now that they have backup. So like you have a bit of time to mill and discuss things in the hubbub. You could linger, you could leave.
I have 5 gold.
We should leave.
Why don't we just pay 25 gold and get this guy?
Why? That's so much money for him.
For some petty revenge.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you guys liked revenge.
I do. I love revenge. I'm just wondering if there's a better option.
How often in your lives has revenge been purchasable for a fixed amount? No extra hassle. No extra
I'm
death.
not gonna lie. The first half of that, you were going, how many times in your lives has revenge? And I was expecting something like somber and heartwarming, and then it goes full salesman. Been available for a 25 gold sticker price. You can buy it right now, folks.
Right, man. No strings attached. We don't gotta break in nowhere. No way you can fight back. He comes pre-packaged for the slaughter.
That's so much gold. That's so much gold for like petty revenge.
Not
Why don't
really.
why don't we just go find his cell and shoot him?
No, because we need information out of him. We need to know how he got those people on his side.
Plus,
it's worth saying, like, every time you switch points, like, going for 25 gold, like both Tiana and Kenyon, you go, they start counting out their pockets, then you go, why don't we just go into a cell and shoot him? And then you can see Kenyon, like, look at the wall and do some mental math, and Tiana start to go and, like, think about lengths of rope. And then you go on to, what was the last one from Croakwill?
It's like, but we need information out of him. Like, we need him alive.
And then when that happens, Kennedy starts thinking, and you can see him in his head putting together like a cork board. And you see Tiana, like, just quietly, like, look at her knife and then get a grisly smile.
look, all I'm saying is 25 gold in the grand scheme of things. It's not that much. Plus, maybe he has some money that we can take from him to sort of offset that.
He's in prison. They've taken everything off of him that he has.
Well, I'm surely a just judicial system wouldn't just strip him of his belongings.
And it's like, need I remind you who's the warden?
Yeah.
Well,
just so I know, how much energy do you guys have? Do you want to go for another, like, 15 to half hour, or do you want to cut short?
I'm kind of tired, but up to you guys.
I'm my usual perpetual state of tired.
Yeah, we're all always tired, but I am willing to go for another 15 to half hour.
All right, continue.
Like, I'm sort of leaning to Sun's side.
Right? I mean,
To just pay up?
look, we've done a lot of crazy shit.
1 second. I'll
This
be right
place, everybody here is high on edge. This is literally the prison. And it's literally going to be the most personal shit if we get caught. I don't know. I don't want to say this in front of Jane, but I think her dad hates her. If my beautiful turret picked up one day and left to join another rival gang of criminals, and then showed up completely trashing my digs, I would not welcome it back with open arms.
So, Jane, you're distracted for a moment. I'm just saying this because you walked away from the keyboard.
Yeah.
You're distracted for a moment. You're looking at the ridge and the angle to the windows and potential cover spots. You barely overhear Tiana being like, honestly, if you didn't tell her and just did it, I think she'd be happier. But if you told her, I think she'd be mad.
Tell me what?
Oh, just that your parents probably hate you because you're a disappointment to them.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
We should talk about a difficult situation. And Tiana, you tell me, Jane. Tiana looks you dead in the eyes. Is this a knowing gaze, or is this like when someone thinks they're giving you a knowing gaze, but really you're like, what the fuck are you up to?
What sort of background does Tiana have? Like, where did Tiana come from?
Tiana is from White Abbey, isn't she? Or like in that area?
Westwatch.
Westwatch, that's it.
Westwatch?
Did you leave home or escape home? Which is the more apt term?
Escape.
Tiana helped you get out.
Okay. So it's probably more of a knowing.
Like, Tiana got you on this ship.
Okay.
But also, you helped pay for this ship.
Yeah.
Like, you funded you funded the heist, buying weapons from Sun before he was on the ship so that you could get the money for the ship, and then all of you escaped. And then you had a hole in the ship and you got stuck at a sea cave, and here we are.
Here we are.
Again on our own. Well, all I'm saying is, if you ask me, easier to just, go by the level, like we usually try to do.
You ever sit there and go, do I want a full glass of wine or a half glass of wine? And you pull a half glass and you finish the half glass and you go, I wanted a full glass.
No, if I'm buying wine, it's for me.
Just drinking out the bottle.
What is this half glass, full glass? No. Half bottle, full bottle.
Yeah.
How much of this bottle am I drinking?
You ever drink some wine and you look at it and you think, oh, that's too much wine that's disappeared, and then you remember that the neck of the bottle is like thinner, and so you're like, there's probably lots of wine left, but it's not as much as you were hoping.
There's the bump at the bottom. It always tricks you.
Yeah.
Yep.
They do that with candies at the Walmart.
Will, does that strike you as like Oblivion NPC dialogue? I heard they're putting bumps in the bottom of candy barrels at Walmart.
A little bit, yeah. I've been doing the prep stream for the Oblivion run, and like the funniest thing is just like I rarely in any other video game will I stop to listen to NPC dialogue, but like it's like there's obviously a script so that they follow a topic. A person will do proposed topic, a person will do response topic, a person will do counter response, a person will do disengage. But that's just the script, and each NPC has like their lines. So routinely, people will either have nonsense dialogues, like someone will be like, so, any news from around the Vale? And it'll be like, I hear this person does geography. Good day. Or it'll be like, so, did you hear? We're finally pushing away those filthy Argonians at Black Marsh. That damned empire. Good day.
Okay. So, we have to decide, are we paying up or are we doing what we do best?
25 gold is so much.
Sun is willing to put up, I'll say 4 gold.
You hear a guard go, good day, and a couple of bounty hunters walk off with one of their charges. The people who had the big wagon start to carry it off, going, oh, fucking bailman. At this point, like, the people are starting to thin out. You're near the front of the line, you should probably go.
We should probably go, yeah.
Like, I can't step foot in there. Like, holy shit.
No.
Like,
I also, like, don't really want to risk.
Like, there's a lot of things that we need to think of.
Both of you have experience with this jail.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Croquill, you've been here. I know what I'm going to say for you. Jane, what's your experience with this jail? Is it just your dad's the warden and you know that, and that happened, like, you knew because he's a major dude and he got transferred, but, like, you weren't involved? Or, like, has he been the warden since you were a kid? And, like, you've seen the inside.
Warden since I was a kid. He's brought me in there specifically to, like, traumatize me. With
how badly?
like probably like what
Sorry,
he thinks.
I should say, from a scale of completely benign to, like, my dad was a cop, but, you know, he was a good guy, to, I don't know if this is child abuse, to, this is probably child abuse, to, this scares the therapist.
Probably, like,
locked you in a cell for left you
like,
there for a weekend.
Probably around this is probably child abuse. Like, to the point where he was, like, he thought it was, like, you know, mild deterrent. But to any child, it was, like, nightmare fuel.
I know, like, I don't know our actual ages, but, like, I feel like Croquill is a bit older than you, right?
Let's canonize that.
Like,
because the war matters.
The
war was 24 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm 27. I have it written down.
Okay.
I have it written down. Sun is somewhere between the age of 40 and 50. I'm going to say that he is 45.
And I would have been, like, I don't know, how old would you say Steelfist is?
Steelfist is older by a couple years.
Yeah, I would say probably in the 5 to 10 year older range.
Yeah. At the time of the previous campaign, Steelfist was in his 30s, so you probably were a war baby. You were alive during it, but you were like 1.
Yeah. You've probably seen me get beaten at some point.
Your dad probably pointed at Crowquill, being like, "That's what happened."
Yeah, like, your dad probably used me as an example of what happens to a bad child. And Crowquill is now just realizing this. And, like, genuinely is just like, oh, dear God, she saw me at my lowest. Like...
So...
I saw a lot of people at their lowest, like...
Do we want to go down the Jane line or the Crowquill line first? Because let's do both.
Let's go to we started on the Jane line. Let's keep going on the Jane line.
Sure.
Okay, so what you would have been shown is there's a men and woman side. You would have been brought all the way through, and it's one of those things where if there's a parent who's willing to go, hey, come to my jail, look at the suffering prisoners, they probably will not notice certain traumatic things. Your dad's office is in the middle of, like, the extreme mental illness ward, and, like, it's not called the treated mental illness ward. This one's a bit much, better neglect them ward. So, like, the area around his office was full of, like, howling and crying, and, like, there were a lot of people who would quietly mill about, but some of them would just look you in the eyes and try to make eye contact.
Oh boy.
Your dad told you that, right?
I think Maya's barking. I have to go get her.
Okay. I'll jump to Crowquill for a bit.
Okay.
So you would have been in the women's section of the prison, so further out to sea. It's buttressed, but, like, the way the arches are, it's kind of like a funnel upwards, and there's a line of cells on each side and then stuff in the middle. So you always have a sea-facing window. Every single cell in the entire prison has a sea-facing window. Guaranteed. Gen Pop is on the bottom 2 tiers, so 8 floors. The very bottom 4 is where everybody gets brought down in the lot. That's just like an open lot, but it's vaulted over its interior, so the light is really low. The upper segments are where the torture chambers are. There are thick walls. You can still hear it. They still want you to hear it, but, like, this is still Gen Pop. They're not actively trying to drive you insane. There's some consideration. Above you, was high security, and you heard about a place called the suicide cells.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Last but not least, you heard tell that there was a place called the Menagerie that specifically, when someone's scheduled for execution, not that many people care about them, and they piss off the guards, they get sent to places. You don't know if this is real or not, but you were told that under the women's prison, there's caves full of monsters, and they just, like, leave people in there and go, if you escape, you're free.
Damn.
And you've definitely heard the monsters. You just don't know if they put people there.
Okay.
So Jane...
Yeah.
You are aware that they segment the men and women. They have medical cells for people who need regular treatment. People get extradited and brought out into boats and get sailed off. There's a big yard, and you were shown this as the thing that's like, this is what happens to bad people. So this thing's tiered. It's like a funnel upwards. There's buttresses and arches. Near the top, where it's really narrow, the first one is a set that's like the high security area, and right in the middle of that there's just these big spikes that come out. Nobody leaves the high security cells. They're just in the cells on their own or with a cellmate if it's permitted. And above that is a place that's called the suicide cells. There's an actual, like, winch chain mechanism that raises up a platform so that the cells can be accessed. There's a whole lever that actually shuts the gate during access that you manually, like, unbolt the gate or put things through the gate for food. But this is the second to last place before prisoners get executed, and then your dad would chuckle. As you're making this exchange, you put two and two together. Croakwill, you think that if people didn't throw themselves from the suicide cells, they'd go down to the menagerie or something.
Yeah.
Once they retract the grates and people are put in, they actually open the gates, and you can drop onto the spikes or stay in your cell.
Horrifying.
Yeah. That's rough. That's real rough. Either way, I don't like the idea of walking through that archway, even if it is just to pay the 25 gold. That magic archway will destroy our bounty, so they won't even be able to read it. So I think our options might be to do what we do best, unless we can find a way around that archway.
They might not have... at this point, you guys are back at the ship, and all of your crewmates are chiming in. They might not have the same level of defenses at the gate that takes prisoners to the gallows, and the gate that extradites them.
Okay. We could try to sneak in.
That's
Could.
Prison break. It is cheaper than prison bail.
It's cheaper.
Definitely cheaper. But, like, I also don't think I would be able to get past that magic archway.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
Who was looking at that archway?
Like, I'm looking at it, yes. I know nothing about magic.
Someone who isn't Croakwill want to roll Arcana?
Oh.
Not me.
Son, you got the thinkies. Roll me
Alright.
some Arcana.
This is me rolling Arcana in spite, though. Anything I know about Arcana, I do use as an argument as to why magic is stupid.
Yeah.
So, like, it's one of those things where genuinely, as you describe the rooms, you're like, there's a triangle thing, a circle thing, a square thing, but some part of it is spite. So you know that you should be saying water symbol, fire symbol, but you're like, there's a squiggly line, there's these upward curves, just because you don't want to call it that, because fuck you.
Yeah,
I blow things up with gunpowder and science.
Yeah, I use gunpowder and science is better in every imaginable way. Because, yeah, you know, if you want to keep somebody in a place, you use iron bars. That's an 11, by the way.
What the fuck is alchemy? Alchemy, you write down a recipe, someone else has to vibe with the recipe for the potion to work. What the fuck is that? You write down a recipe, anyone who reads it can make it. Science.
Yeah, if I tell you how to do something, it's gonna work.
So you describe like the elemental ones, like there's a horizontal squiggle, a vertical squiggle, there's these upward little things, there's like a flat line, and then there's this triangle up and down, and then there's like a square with an X in it, then a square without an X in it. And as the set of symbols is described, Croakwill, you note that if you can get whatever magic items you need through there, or if you can just handle all your magic being stripped from you, it's not going to tag you, it's not going to repulse you, it's just going to... Like, imagine a metal detector. Just goes beep.
Yeah, like, I know it's just gonna go beep on me to say that I am a potential magical threat, but, like, you said it dispels any active, like, magic stuff. So I'm worried about my fork being dispelled in some way, or the bounty being dispelled in some way. And you said that even if it's not dispelled, it's repelled. So we wouldn't be able to get it through the door anyway, and it would be incredibly obvious that we now had something that was magical on us.
Right.
So Croakwill could still get through the gate, ping it, they would just be like, oh, okay, you have magic. But you can't bring the fork, and you can't bring the bounty warrant.
This is gonna take some planning, some thinking.
I'm thinking we break in.
Well, naturally.
All right. No.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking
A
that's what we have to do.
prison is the last. A prison on high alert is the last place we want to break into. If we're doing this, we should wait until he is being moved, and then get him while he's being moved. Because he was being moved to Redwine, weren't he?
Right.
He is, you were told, being extradited to Riverbend, which means from that little dock on the inside elbow of the prison, they would put him on a ship. Just like in the first campaign, you guys were in one of those. In the second campaign, you helped hijack them and save people from them and saw them loaded onto them. You'd be on one of those, and then get sailed off to Riverbend with a bunch of other prisoners.
So could we ambush that boat?
If we rolled up and did
There would be a lot of random innocent people on that boat if you were to just sink it.
I mean,
right,
enough.
we don't want to sink it. We would want to have them surrender, and the terms of their surrender is handing over the prisoner. That, or we pretend that we are government officials and there's been some mistake, and then, oh, thank God we caught up to you. There's one guy on there that's not supposed to be.
Say we break into the prison.
You say we break into the prison. If I didn't know better, I'd say you're looking for an excuse to kill your old man.
Look, what?
See, here's the thing. For any other landlubber party, a prison which is almost entirely flanked by rough open sea would be a massive security hazard that you have to bypass by hiring a boat, and they would need to be heavily armed, well paid, well trained. But you're just the boat already. This prison is the one thing you can hit better than anyone else. And it's just like, because you got the ridge, right? You got the first slab, you got a tower, you got the second slab, you got another tower. And on the inside, you got that dock. And the whole area, like, there's that central island it's built off, but the rest is just like a masoned pier into the sea. It's a flat surface that you could dock a ship right alongside. And then 4 stories, there's a little ridge, there's some buttresses that you could, like, attach a rope onto, another 4 stories, another ridge, another bit of roof, more buttresses, another 4 stories.
So we might be able to sneak in from that angle, definitely. As opposed to a full frontal assault.
I don't think we should go the full frontal assault route. I think we should do the sneaking in, grab him, get out.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Or think of another option. I don't really want to pay the 25 gold. That's kind of excessive. And also boring.
All right, well...
Jane's just like, I don't want to give money to my dad. No.
Well, I have a full workshop.
I know where he lives. We could go rob his house, sell some of his stuff.
Hang on.
That would be funny.
No, hang on.
His stuff.
Hang on. Your dad ever bring any of his work home with him?
He had a home office.
If we were to break into your dad's house, would we be able to get sort of some paperwork that would transfer that prisoner into our capable hands?
Ooh, it's possible.
Would that maybe be easier than breaking into a whole prison? Doing it bureaucratically.
Do one of you guys want to roll politics?
I can roll politics.
Not me.
Okay, Jane's gonna roll politics.
Politics is the one mental skill that I have.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see.
I feel like in context, it's like the worst politics. Like it's that type of politics where it's just like, yes, but I'm gonna put it through a couple of filters and then get the actual politics out of it.
12.
12. You have exactly 4 options that you think you might be able to get away with. Option 1, just steal the extradition form and don't put anything in its place. Just throw it in the fireplace and run. If you do that, Nobody comes to pick this guy up, and in a month he's on the gallows. Option 2, you falsify the extradition request and make yourself the pickup ship. You would have to come up with additional paperwork to say that you're like a subcontractor for the Empire, because they do hire people, but also they have their own ships for this. So it would have to be an unusual situation.
Or a really dangerous mage.
Or a really dangerous mage. Exactly. Fucking exactly. Option 3, you can just wipe this guy, which means you have to act fast because there would just be a person who's in the prison who isn't supposed to be there, and that's... They would probably first find out that he's not supposed to be there, quickly detain him, then figure out he is supposed to be there, then figure out someone falsified the papers, unless he's never supposed to be there, and then he isn't there anymore. Option 4. Fuck, what was option 4? I had it. It was a good one.
Is it hold the dad ransom for 25 gold?
Hold the dad ransom for release of prisoner.
Yeah.
Option 4, you can transfer this guy to any cell in the prison.
Ooh.
As long as it's within the appropriate section. Croakwill, you remember the women's section? He would be in the men's. From what you understand, they're the same. But there's still that little bit of uncertainty because you weren't personally there.
Yeah, so we can have him transferred to like a lower cell towards like the lower floors, so we don't have to go up so high, or somewhere closer to the docks, so it's easier for us to like in out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So if we just send him to the gallows, we don't get to question it.
Yeah, and we don't get to find out how he was able to bankroll a bunch of mages attacking us.
Yeah, so that's the easiest thing, but also that means we don't get any information off of it.
I think our two options are falsifying extradition documents and so that we're the pickup ship, or transfer him to an easier to break into location.
Yeah. I like those both.
Yeah.
I think we should consider this in another session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Do you want next session to be some planning, then an attempt? Or do you want next session to be a full prison break heist prep?
I think we need to do like step 1 of prison break heist prep, which is getting into his place and falsifying whatever documents need to be falsified.
Yeah. I think that's some falsified documents.
At least step 1 will have to be next.
Yeah. Step 1, get those documents and falsify them. Which documents? We'll figure that out then.
Yeah. Step 2, question. Step 3, profit.
Step 3, we gain exactly 25 gold that we would have spent.
We gain petty revenge, and that's about it.
Yep.
Man, could you imagine being in a terrible situation where like literally 25 gold will just buy your soul, and you have enemies who have 25 gold on them, and it would be so easy, and then you are broken out of prison
by those people.
Elaborate heist.
That's the wildest thing, is that this guy, you could just buy his freedom, and I know you could afford to just buy it.
Yeah.
Like, it would bankrupt most of you, but you know, like when people who have a job and a home say they're broke, where it's like, you still get to call yourself broke. It's very valid, but like, there's people who are definitely worse off.
Yeah.
Yeah. By broke, it's like, you know, I gotta like not buy an Xbox. I gotta start saving for a couple of months before.
So like,
and
like you guys can scrounge if you need to. You've been real broke before. You could afford to buy him, but he's not worth the money.
No.
Is he worth the effort though?
So as you're heading below decks, getting ready to start doing some planning to get into Jane's dad's house, there are a couple of rookers that come asking questions. They just want to speak to Rooker Croakwill.
Okay.
Not looking to buy bullets then. Yeah, she's over there.
I go below decks and get into my like mask and come back up.
Alright. You come back in your mask. They want to lead you away from the party towards the rookery on your own.
I'm just gonna stand firm and just go, not until you tell me what this is about.
There's a pregnant pause. Their beaks shift subtly. The one that's in the front kind of... Excuse me. The one that's in the front kind of like tips up slightly and then down a little and then up. A few of the other ones like look over at the other, and then look over at Croakwill. The one in the middle stops and then just goes, "A confidential, rare, potent opportunity. Safe. Classified. Highly."
All right. Sure.
Okay.
Let's give this a shot. Croakwill is still. How many people are there? How many rookers are there?
4.
Yeah, Croakwill can probably deal enough to deal with some of them.
Okay. I will leave this up to Gabe and Chelsea individually. Do you want to take your headphones off, or do you want to have your headphones on? Do you want to have this be dramatic irony or a genuine mystery?
Your son would not be listening. Son would be like, "Oh, it's more of Croakwill's strange friends."
If there's a difference between Son and Gabe or Jane and Chelsea, I'm asking Gabe and Chelsea.
Oh no, I think it's more fun if I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. I will do a big fancy waggle when it's time to put your headphones back on.
I'll take my headphones off.
Okay.
Ooh, big mystery.
Oh God.
I gotta stick my thumbs in my waistband so I don't accidentally make big gestures.
Yeah.
I'll keep this brief. You get on the road. It's isolated. There's not a lot of people. The lockdown is heavy. Move towards the section where the rookery is. It's by the edge of the docks, but like the rookery is a very tall building.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a dock section, but the rookery itself is meant to like jut off of the ridge and be very tall for the birds. So it like there's a lot of staircases. You are led to an extremely high security section. Interrupt me if there's anything you want to say. I'm just keeping this expedient because we have people waiting.
Yeah, the entire time I'm just like, you know how people have like their hand on like the whole, like just hovering above their holster, ready to quick draw kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of Croakwill's sort of thing, just like ready to summon the fork.
Okay, you reach a point where you couldn't win that fight anymore. Objectively.
Yeah.
Are you still on edge because that's where you are emotionally, or are you...
Oh, hell yeah, Croakwill's on edge emotionally. She just learned that, like, her best friend's dad was the one who used to beat her as a kid. She is on edge emotionally.
So, you're lit up, and you see at least one familiar figure. One that you as Ken would recognize as Corvo, and you as Croakwill would also recognize as Corvo, but for Croakwill, Corvo is like the secret spy mission guy.
Yeah.
There's a number of other people who... They're some of the rare people that you see with colored masks and marked robes. Everyone else in the rookery has like full black robes, including Corvo and every other high-level rooker you've met. These are people you've never seen before in your life.
Okay.
Door closes. One of the rookers, who is like wearing a gold fringe, seems to just be like a servant, but who is like extremely high like security detail, who's translating for Corvo right now with like a little gold fringe on the edge of the like the hood and the base and like sleeves of the robe.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts to dictate as Croquill signs. Do you remember that time in East Landing, how things can get unusual at the Rookery?
Remind me, which one was East Landing? Was that where we did the bomb? The ink
The
bomb?
die pack.
Yeah, yeah. And it was just like, yes, it was quite unusual.
Do you remember carrying the codes?
Would I remember carrying the codes? Yeah.
That was the big swing where you had to stop at a bunch of Rookeries and you ended up like
Yeah.
past Saw.
Yeah.
Rookery
I remember carrying the codes, yeah.
Due to those circumstances, a situation has arisen. Due to East Landing, we have to ask you questions. Please answer honestly. You will not be charged. The Rookery forgets if the Rookery is well served. Do you understand?
Yes.
Did you rob the Imperial Repository at Riverbend? It would be useful for your resume, but honesty is provable.
The success of the Canonier and Sons company has been fortuitous.
There's an audible chuckle from everyone there, and it's like it cuts the tension, then everybody has to tighten up because this is like super classified.
Yeah.
They stop and Croquill signs again and goes, did you or did you not break a 10-person assault attempt with one known ally off of the desert coast?
Yes. That was a fun vacation.
There's another chuckle. And even Corvo, like you hear uncomfortable gurgling noises, but that's like you made Corvo laugh, and Corvo doesn't like laughing. He goes to take out a map, puts it down, and then points at an island. It's one that I can point out later off stream, but it's one that's in the middle, close to the Stormy Sea, between Westwatch and Newtown and Soth and all the other locations. We are interested in opening a new Boxworks and Cryptography location. We want you on magical Boxworks research and experimentation. This won't be right away. It'll be after a while, but you will need to stay there. As part of your job offer, we will be tripling your pay, giving you the best accommodations we can for you and any family, biological or chosen. And we are willing to offer you the Bilgewater as your subcontracted ship. We want you to make our boxes impenetrable.
Hard to say no to that. Very hard to say no to that. So I'll just say, yes. After I deal with a troublesome former ally, very good at breaking boxes.
At this point, they shuffle from side to side and mutter to each other. They gesture for you to wait. There's one Rookery guard that stands as the rest of them leave the room. They mutter for a moment, and then just Corvo comes back, nods to the guards as they get ready to escort you out of the Rookery. And then Corvo goes, like, signs to you with the interpreter. The code word is retirement, if only. When you're ready to accept a job offer, say that you would like to retire, if only. Then ask if they have any special projects.
Okay.
You good?
Yep.
Alright. Big old gestures. Big old gestures.
Hello. I
Hello.
was being very normal.
Yeah, totally.
I didn't hear what you said.
Were you beatboxing?
Yeah.
Knew it.
Was I doing it well? No.
But we can't tell.
You can't tell because I did mute myself for that very. God, I hope I muted myself.
It was very hard to hear Will. Oh, God.
This was shorter than you thought it would be. Crockwill's been escorted back.
Hey, what's that about?
Yeah.
Future employment.
Oh, is it the clowns again?
No, not with the clowns.
All right.
Hey,
Cool.
Croakwill doesn't say much more than that. It's just like, but we're fine to continue what we got going on.
Which is, yeah, okay.
So you can
That
check
job
us out.
wouldn't happen to pay 25 gold, would it? And could we get an advance on that job?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you can check us out at twitch.tv/Croton_live. We are at youtube.com/Mr. Croton. And the rules for this game are at bloodwine.fandom.com.
Bloodwine.fandom.com.
We gotta break somebody out of jail.
Yep. We gotta break
And,
our enemy out of jail, weirdly enough.
We gotta break someone out of jail and then set them free.
Yeah.
You can tune in for that next time around. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. Things go. There's 4 of us. Tough to schedule. Anything coming up?
Tomorrow I'm gonna be playing more Temtem with Xandril, and that's gonna be a lot of fun.
The Adventures of Temtem and Captain Haddock.
Yeah. Last time, previously on Temtem, we crashed a ship into a bunch of rocks, and it was bad for a while, and we definitely abandoned the crew of that ship.
Was it a sinking rock with a big mushroom on it and also big bugs?
No.
Oh.
It was a floating rocky platform shrouded in mist. So they're probably dead, but like we'll go back and gather their corpses and
Oh, that dastardly
notify
Captain
their loved
Haddock.
ones. So
Yeah, always drinking on the job.
So if you want to tune in for that.
Tintin.
You did say once that he's a man of his times. You know, conservative values and a historical bloodlust.
Okay, I really gotta take a piss.
Yeah,
You gotta
we
take it.
gotta
Keep
go. Let's go. Thank you for watching as always. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.